Well, alrighty. Hello, hello, hello. John S. Rhodes here, Chief Marketing Officer at Rapid Crush Incorporated. And thank you for being here. Congratulations for carving out time, setting aside time you could be spending with your family, that you could be doing something else, reading a book, playing video games, out for a jog, whatever it might be. But you're here right now, and I appreciate that. And I know that Buck appreciates that. Let's dive in to the presentation in this way. I want to set things up. It'll take a minute or two only, and then I'll turn things over to Buck. Number one is that there is a tremendous amount of money that is available by selling dietary supplements online. I think that everyone knows that, or virtually everyone knows that, but to put a finer point on it, I was talking to Buck just before we kicked this thing off, and he said, hey, back in 2012, not long ago, we're looking at about 3 years ago or so, about 3 years ago, 2012, $30 billion of dietary supplements sold. Okay, now right now we're looking at about, this is 2015, right now about $40 billion. That's $10 billion added in dietary supplement sales in a matter of just a few years. And by 2021, the estimates are about $60 billion. You don't need much. You don't need much at all of 60 billion. In fact, you don't need much of even 1 billion to make an awful lot of money. This is why you can niche down, niche down, niche down. You can really dive into this, okay? And do tremendously well with even a couple of products. Heck, even one product. I'm sure Buck is going to be talking about that. Now, another thing is that, if you haven't done anything with supplements online, and I'm sure, again, you know something about supplements. Either you're taking them, or your aunt or uncle, parents, son, daughter, people are taking supplements, and you know it. Here's the thing. In addition to the money, you know that this is the kind of business that is evergreen. It's a legacy business. You can set it up. You can grow it. You can flip it if you want. You can enjoy the cash flow. You can just build the equity or make a lot of money, or do both. It is a beautiful thing. Now, here's the other thing I want to point out. If you're not doing supplements, there's very likely a certain level of fear. You're worried about the FDA, those guys in the jackboots coming in the riot gear, and the helmets, and the billy clubs, and who knows, rubber bullets flying, right? They're coming after me. There's a fear factor. Buck is he's going to make this really obvious what's really going on here, and what you need to know, what you should be doing, and definitely what you should not be doing. Okay? Now, I call this the baby boomer blueprint. Of course, Buck calls it the board game blueprint, but I call it the baby boomer blueprint. What better way to tap into the mega trend that we have in front of us right now, that we are experiencing right now? And one last thing, and I'll turn it over. Speaking of Buck, he is a powerful online and offline marketing force of nature. Right? I heard about this guy, finally was able to track him down, finally able to talk to him near the end of last year. He is a human dynamo of productivity. He is a wonderful human being. He is a great coach, and he is just quality. His product, right? His personality, his business, quality, quality, quality. You're going to hear that again and again. Without further ado, thanks, Buck, for indulging me. Everyone, thanks for indulging me on that intro. So important to understand why you're here and what this means to you and your future. Again, this is John S. Rhodes, Chief Marketing Officer at Rapid Crush Incorporated. I'll be here behind the scenes, flagging your questions, answering your questions, getting Q&A all set up for Buck. I might jump in on Buck one or two times, but I'm here for you. Take advantage of my time here and Buck's as well. That being said, I'm going to go silent, Buck. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, John. Wow, what a great introduction, and I am so excited to be here with you. It's an amazing group and a growing group. We've got hundreds of people on the line, and I can feel the electricity. So thanks for taking the time out to be a part of this. I love it, the Baby Boomer Blueprint. I call it the board game blueprint, because why can't this be fun? Why can't helping a lot of people live longer, better lives be fun and help yourself at the same time, right? So before I get started, let me just double check. You can hear my voice, you can see the screen. Just let me know that you can see that picture of me. That is a recent picture of me at the Tumbling River Dude Ranch here in near Grant, Colorado. And I probably sent them more business than they can count. But Tumbling River Dude Ranch, Grant, Colorado. Check it out. It's an amazing place. And yeah, I know I didn't shave, but okay. So audio only. It's saying someone said audio only. It says it's sharing my screen. Let me double check here and make sure that nope, screen is good according to Christopher. Picture is showing fine according to Daniel, and I can see the screen. Okay, so Gautam, sorry about that. Looks like most people can see the screen and hear me. Perfect. Okay, so I'm Buck Risby. I'm your host for this this journey that we're going to go on over the next hour or so. But let me just open it up with a few words from our friends over at the FTC. We want to make sure that we cover off on this point. Despite my documented success, and it's well documented, and the authenticity of this training that you're about to receive, it's not to imply that you're going to make any money following in my footsteps. In fact, you most likely will learn nothing because most folks don't take action on what they learn. Okay? So now that I've got that out of the way, who the heck am I? That's me with my family. You can tell it's kind of Christmas time. You see the stockings hanging from the fireplace. This is our home here in Colorado. I've founded and built actually 3 multi-million-dollar online companies. 2 of them multi-million-dollar online dietary supplement companies, and I built those companies from scratch. My online businesses have generated over $50 million in profitable online sales over the last 10 years, and I'm an expert at running a 100% virtual operation. It's the way I like to roll. It's the way I like to run. And 100% virtual doesn't mean fly by night. Far from it. And we'll talk about that in just a moment and the kinds of things that we've accomplished in the businesses that I've built and I've built with my partners. I also am founder of Health Profits Academy, and I help people launch and grow ethical online health businesses. And there's a reason that I do that, and I'll get into that in just a moment. But let's start with a word from my certified public accountant. Some people might say, well, Buck said he built an 8-figure business in less than 18 months. You know, BS, show me the money. This is a letter from my accountant. Her name is Julie Amendola, and I'm going to read it if it's difficult for you to see. My name is Julie Amendola. I've been Buck Risby's certified public accountant for 7 years. I can certify that Real Dose Nutrition achieved over $10 million in sales in less than 18 months of operation. Signed, Julie Amendola, CPA at Worth & Associates down in Sewanee, Georgia. So as many of you know, professionals like CPAs, when they sign their name to a document indicating financials, that has to be the gospel from their perspective. So now that we've covered that, let's talk about what we're going to talk about in this webinar today. And we're going to go through all the steps that my partner and I went through to build my baby, Real Dose Nutrition, from scratch to 10 million in sales in less than 18 months, profitable sales. And we're going to drill into a few key areas that I think gave us the most leverage in that process. Plus, I'm going to cover off on some of your biggest burning questions, top burning questions with respect to how we did it, and how possibly you could do it if you have the right system. So my gift to you for being here is a very special ebook that I have put together a few years back. A partner and I used to publish a newsletter called Health Business Confidential, and as part of that, we would include in the membership a copyrighted ebook called How to Write $1 Million Marketing Copy for Your Best Health Products. It was written by Tony Flores for us, and Tony is the same person who wrote something called the Ultimate Desktop Copy Coach for another very famous copywriter by the name of Clayton Makepeace. And that particular product was like $2,000, $2,000 to $3,000. This ebook is sort of just the juice for writing copy for health offers. I'm going to give it to you absolutely free. It's a 93-page ebook. It has at least a $97 value. I think it's literally thousands of dollars in value. And I'll give you a link to download this ebook at the end of this webinar as my way of saying thanks for you being here. So John might have mentioned this, but sort of the obvious is it's easy to get distracted, right, online. So close your web browser if you don't need it. Shut off your Facebook notifications. I've done this with my phone, and I don't even have Skype running. My iPhone's set to Do Not Disturb. I suggest you do the same. And put your phone on vibrate. Grab a pen and paper, and if you use multiple modalities as you're learning information, it's really going to sink in. And there's a lot of stuff that I'm going to cover. As you can tell, I'm going to speak a little bit fast here because a lot of data I want to go through, a lot of info I want to go through, and some of it is not on the slides. So you're going to hear it in my voice as opposed to seeing it as a bullet point on this presentation. So one big question you might have is, why the heck is Buck doing this? Why on earth would he go and create a bunch of other competitors in the online health space? Well, first of all, there are a lot of hucksters out there. I think, wouldn't you agree? You've probably seen a lot of these fly-by-night online dietary supplement companies, and as a result, there are not enough quality companies doing it the right way, like we do at Real Dose, for us to partner with. The reality is we don't make every product under the sun. We only have about 6 different products that we sell to customers. But there's there's potentially dozens of other products that we could sell to our customers that because it takes time to develop, we have to, it may not be a market that we want to focus on right now, but our customers still want these products, that we like to partner with third parties and recommend those products in exchange for maybe a commission or some kind of revenue share. And as part of this process, I think by educating people how to do this the right way, that we can help drive the crud out of this industry and really help burnish what I think of as the tarnished reputation of the online dietary supplement space. You might be also thinking, well, wow, dietary supplements sounds pretty scary. Organizations like the FDA, they want to make it hard for me to do business. They don't want me to do business. Amazon doesn't want me to sell supplements on Amazon. The ad networks don't want me to sell advertise supplements on their ad networks. Well, the reality is, if you do it the wrong way, they absolutely don't want you to sell your products. Okay, and unfortunately, too many people jump into this thinking that I can just have someone throw together a quick formula, slap up a video sales letter, and make outlandish claims and do it the wrong way, and therefore you're going to get shut down. You're going to get shut down by Amazon. You're going to get shut down by the ad networks. You potentially are going to get shut down by your merchant account processors. And so I'm here to show you exactly how to do it the right way. And when you do that, these folks will open you with welcome arms. We'll get to that in just a moment. So some other reasons why you might want to focus on an online dietary supplement business. I think of this industry as the king of online business opportunities. And one of the reasons that is, and John alluded to this, is that dietary supplements is one of the fastest growing industries in the world. And it's not just me saying this. It's Forbes and the Nutrition and Business Journal documenting that this industry is going from $32 billion, as John mentioned, in 2012, to over $60 billion. And I suspect it's going to be much higher than that, but over $60 billion in the next 6 years. In addition, one of the things driving this, and by the way, there's several, obviously, demographics that can drive this, but the big one is this baby boomer market. Right? How many of you? Somebody was talking about baby blooper on the Q&A here. How many of you were born between the years 1945 and 1964? Say yes. Give me. Larry says yep. Moi says Christopher. Tamara. Wow, a lot of you. Okay, whole bunch of folks here in the boomer category, right? So, okay. Well, wouldn't you agree that this market, which is about 76 million strong, pretty internet savvy? They are aging. That just comes with the territory, and but they are mobile phone equipped. They're on Facebook. They're pretty sophisticated online, right? And they're looking for condition-specific solutions. They're not looking for Geritol. They're not looking for Centrum. They're looking for specific solutions to solve very specific problems that are in common with baby boomers: joint problems, cognitive health, weight loss, digestive health, heart health, immunity, energy, sexual health. Let me ask you a question. For those folks that, whether you're a boomer or not, do any of these categories resonate with you? Would you be looking for something in any one of these categories right now? Chris says totally. Susan says all of them. Greg says yes. We've got a big yes from Dave. Okay, all of them again. Give me one. I'll have what she's having, right? Yeah, okay, so they're not just looking for Geritol. They're not just looking for Centrum. They're looking for solutions to big problems. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, I think we can all agree that this is a huge opportunity, but it gets better. Dietary supplements are consumables, which means you can sell the same product to the same customer over and over and over again. How many online businesses can you do that with? How many kitchen spatulas can you sell to the same customer over and over again? Maybe 2, okay? Well, with dietary supplements, you can formulate a product, such as a joint health product or a cognitive health product, and they will stay on that product month after month after month. Now, of course, it has to work. It has to have efficacy. They have to have a great outcome. But if they do, they're going to be loyal customers for you, and you don't have to re-engineer, reformulate a new product. Let me ask you this. How many of you have found a great product that you tend to buy over and over again because it worked for you? Yes, yes or no? Have you guys done that? I would say, there you go. Yes, yes, yes. So finding the right customer is the other aspect of this business that makes it so beautiful now. When I first got into it 10 years ago, you could get customers online with networks like Google, but wow, the times have changed in 10 years. It's much, much easier to find folks using ad networks like Google, Facebook, Yahoo, Bing, native ad networks, and others. And these are many of these networks are self-service, which allow you to do low-cost testing. Low cost meaning low risk, and optimize and then scale. Okay. Now these ad networks, some of you might say, well, gee, I can't get my offer onto these networks. Let me tell you something. It's very interesting here. I'm looking at. I just picked this up in the mail. I'm holding in my hands, literally a pair of. I should have taken a picture of this. YouTube tube socks that were given to me along with some other swag from our Google reps, because Google loves us. Google, we have dedicated account reps. They're helping us grow our business, and they gave me these YouTube tube socks. I will send a picture, take a pic, and put this out online somehow. It's crazy. My daughter came in wearing these things. But yeah, these ad networks will love you if you do it the right way, and that's what I'm here to talk to you about. So, in addition. Well, before I jump into the blueprint, let me share with you a little story about the tale of 2 people that I know. I'm going to call them 2 acquaintances. One's actually a friend, and the other is just an acquaintance. Okay, but somebody I know how they operate. Acquaintance 1 treats customers as friends. They see them as somebody to revere, take care of, somebody you really want to have a loyal relationship with. Acquaintance 2 really sees customers as an opportunity to make money. They want to flip them over, upside down, shake them until the quarters come out of their pockets. Acquaintance 1, he'll cut corners. I just read a really interesting article about how people do things to try to generate social proof and have fake testimonials. And if any of you are familiar with Amazon, you probably have fought the battle or heard about the battles being fought with respect to fake reviews on Amazon. So he's okay with. Acquaintance 1 only will agree to using genuine testimonials, things that are certified and authentic. Acquaintance 2, he'll take that shortcut because he wants to get results faster. He'll resort to fake testimonials. Acquaintance 1, very concerned about having transparent terms and conditions, so you know what you're getting, you know how to, if you're unhappy, how to get your money back, and it's very clear, plain language. Acquaintance 2. If there is any print, it's going to be fine print or very difficult or no print. He's the kind of person that you'd shake hands with and have to count your fingers when you bring your hand back. Acquaintance 1, every health claim that he makes about his product is backed by human clinical studies, the real deal, right? Acquaintance 2, because he's, sort of maybe he has some animal studies on these ingredients, maybe he's using the wrong version of this ingredient, doesn't have the right amount of it. He has to spin a good yarn. He tells a good tale, but it's not really backed by science. Acquaintance 1 is welcomed, as I mentioned. Google's, the Facebooks, the Yahoo Bings, the other ad networks welcome him with open arms because he's doing things the right way. He gets the YouTube socks. Okay. Acquaintance 2 is shunned by the ad networks. He gets slapped consistently, has to reinvent himself, try to open up new accounts under new business names. And as a result, Acquaintance 1, or really Friend 1, has a respected online health business. that he's had operating for years and years and is growing and has a great reputation in the industry. And acquaintance two, unfortunately, is burning through businesses. Now, so this is really the story of what do winners do when they're building a successful online business, and what do losers do in the online health space. So my story is one of that came out of frustration. I spent 21 years in the corporate rat race. I spent years and years of my life commuting 2 or more hours in rush hour traffic. I was the consummate road warrior. I was the guy on those rental car commercials that you saw, living out of a suitcase, eating junk food, always away from my wife and kids, night after night. And but I thought I was living the American dream. I had new cars, lived in a cul-de-sac neighborhood, relatively new house, wife and 2 kids, 2-car garage. That's the dream, right? But the reality was that I was in debt up to my eyeballs, and I was living paycheck to paycheck. And if the music stopped playing, I would be in big trouble. Well, guess what? Music did stop playing. I got the wake-up call, got called into the office with my boss and the in-house counsel, and I got laid off when my wife was 7 months pregnant with my son, my second son. And that was the first time that had ever happened to me. I was shocked. I was in shock. I was frustrated. I was angry, and I can't describe the embarrassment and the anger and frustration I experienced when I had to go home to my wife and explain to her what happened. And as a result, I made a very fateful decision. I decided never again would I allow someone to have that level of control over my life. Never again would I allow someone to dictate, whether or not I would be able to take care of my family and make me feel small and insignificant and unimportant. That would never happen to me again. So I went on a journey. I had always dreamed of having my own business, but every vehicle that I have tried had flopped up to that point. I did MLM, I did real estate investing, I did some consulting for small businesses. Maybe you've tried some of these things. And then I attended a $4,000 a seat internet marketing conference. I funded that out of some money that I borrowed. And I kind of came up with my own eureka formula. I've always been a big fan of dietary supplements, taking dietary supplements and into natural health. But my formula was, what if I combined in-demand health products with ethical online marketing? Maybe that would lead to success. So over the next 8, I went ahead and got a new job. Look, the reality is I had to keep the lights on and take care of my family. But over the next 8 months, I researched or sought advice on formulating, the contract manufacturing, packaging, and fulfillment of dietary supplements. And by the way, this was 10 years ago, right? This was not, a lot of things have changed in the last decade, as you know. And in April of 2006, I started selling my product online, and I get my first few sales. I can't tell you how excited I was. I was doing this as a side job, and I was still running, doing things in my day job. But 6 months after that, after my first product ship, my business income exceeded my executive salary, and I was able to exit the corporate rat race forever. I mean, I think back, and I'm so grateful about that event and realizing that I have taken care of myself and my family, and I kept my promise that never again would someone have that level of control over my life. So fast forward to April 2011, I joined forces with 2 business partners. We launched a new supplement company from scratch, Real Dose Nutrition. And that business is the one that went on to generate $10 million in sales in less than 18 months. My previous business was already a multi-million-dollar business. And I'm very, very proud to say that Real Dose Nutrition has gone on to help, and I think we're close to 400,000 customers now around the world. So this is what my life is like now. This is a picture of the Flatirons here in Boulder, Colorado. I live in Boulder because I believe it's one of the most beautiful parts of the country, and people are streaming in from all over the place because they're out of water in California. I take my kids to school every morning. I eat dinner with them every evening, and I literally tuck them in every night. I just read my young daughter, who's 6, a bedtime story last night, and I'm looking forward to tucking her into bed this evening. I eat a leisurely breakfast with my wife after I drop the kids off at school. We're now in the summer months, so the kids are actually out of school now. But my commute is 60 seconds because I work from a home office. I mentioned that I'm an expert on running a virtual business. And as a result, I'm able to take these long extended trips where I go to Europe with my wife. She's from Lithuania, and we take second honeymoons. That's a picture of us on a floral island off the coast of Stavanger, Norway. And weird story. Stavanger is one of the most expensive places in the world because they're a very oil and gas-rich country. But beautiful, beautiful floral island. And I was living for almost a month and a half in Europe, and I do that just about every year. And I do this because I have a 100% internet-based company, and it's virtually staffed. It's a dietary supplement business, and I can manage that from anywhere on Earth. So hopefully I gave you, some encouragement, some excitement that there's a lot of possibility for you to help a lot of people, and potentially maybe some of the things that happened to me might resonate with you as well. Because I'm not quite a boomer. I guess you would call me a Gen Xer. I was born in '65, but I'm 50, so I'm right on the edge. I've got some maturity, as you can tell. You can see my gray hair there. But we're going to talk about the board game blueprint, or the baby boomer blueprint of how we were able to have that level of success. And I highly recommend that you not be distracted, that you take some notes on what I'm about to say, because much of this is going to be words out of my mouth as opposed to bullets on the slide. Okay? So are you guys ready? You ready for this? Are you excited? Are you inspired? If you're inspired, say yes, Buck, I'm inspired. Jim, inspired, sorry. Yes, Rebecca, Deborah, Arnold, you betcha, spot on. I'm very inspired. Tamara's in. Woohoo! All right, cool. All right, let's get going. Make sure you keep the blood pumping here. Well, the first step in this is making sure, from a successful blueprint for building an online dietary supplement business, is setting your company up the right way. And one of the things that is a big part of that is, choosing a name for your company, a logo, a brand, if you will, setting up your entity, and choosing the right jurisdiction for your entity. One of the things I like to do for U.S. citizens, and what I've done, is setting up in jurisdictions like Nevada or Wyoming, because you can set up an LLC there. You have no corporate tax, and for example, in Wyoming, there's great privacy if you don't want your name to appear on the rolls of the business in Wyoming. And but one big thing to consider here is, if let's say you're not a U.S. citizen, I actually have resources that I work with that can set you up with not only an entity, but a bank account, a merchant account, all the basics that you need in order to conduct business online, right? Some of it's the same as you would have for any online business, but there's some aspects to this that you would want to focus on for your online health business that would increase the likelihood of your success. One thing that I would recommend you think about is, what are your core values? We think about that a lot at Real Dose. What do you stand for? What do you not? What do you push away? What do you repel with respect to your business? From our perspective, we have what we call the mom test. I'm going to share this with you. Everything we do in our business, if our mothers or our sisters or our family members, if we wouldn't subject them to a product or a method of sales, then we won't do it for any other customer. Okay, so everything has to pass the mom test or the grandmother test in order for us to implement that in our business. Okay, the other thing is we have a business name that kind of represents who we are as a company. So in our case, our business name is Real Dose Nutrition, and our tagline is the right ingredients at the Real Dose. So what that means is that you can be certain that our ingredients are backed by human clinical studies, and if you take our product, you're actually going to get the same dosage and the same sourcing of that ingredient that was used that was proven in the study, right? So we certify that. So those are some things you can do as part of your initial company setup. Is set your company name, your company brand, what you stand for, your core values, and what jurisdiction you're going to set up in. Even if you are a non-U.S. citizen, I highly recommend that you consider setting yourself up in the United States to conduct business as an online dietary supplement company, because the infrastructure for formulation, manufacturing, fulfillment is the best in the world from my perspective, because we have, you know, an act of Congress, the DSHEA Act that was passed 21 years ago, that guarantees that we have access to dietary supplements. And so there's a great ecosystem of partners that can assist you in being successful as an online dietary supplement company. Okay, so once you've gotten that, you know, those bits out of the way, then you want to make sure that you're not the only one doing everything in your company. Okay, and there's actually a great way to do this without, you know, making some massive investments up front or having a huge amount of overheads. I call it the initial virtual team. And one of the things that I did very early on was I brought on a virtual assistant. That was the first member of my virtual team. Initially, that was a young lady in Kentucky. Her name was Kelly, and she actually was a stay-at-home mom with an MBA who also, you know, part-time taught at University of Phoenix. And so very smart young lady, and very capable, obviously. But her rates were incredibly reasonable. Now that was you know, almost 10 years ago when I did that. You can either have resources here in the United States that can assist you with doing everything from, you know, running operations, customer care, and other things. But now in this global economy, we have the ability to hire resources offshore. And before you roll your eyes, let me just say that there's an incredible pool of talented, college-educated, English-speaking personnel that, by the way, get very high marks when they interact with you know, or North American or Western consumers. Okay, so I'll give you a couple of the resources that we use initially in our business when I first start up. One is a virtual assistant. And then we have some part-time resources that we work with to assist with things such as, you know, creating a logo for your business, or a webmaster to set up an initial corporate site as a WordPress site. A lot of those things can be part-time or project-based, and then you can work with a virtual assistant to assist you with order processing, customer care, and other things, and actually enable you to launch and run a business even if you're working a day job, which is a beautiful thing. Guess what these resources might cost you if you go the offshore route? Well, I'm able to bring on routinely very capable personnel in the range of $400 to $600 a month full time. That's $400 to $600 a month full time. You may have read, you know, in the news how companies like Uber and others are getting forced to hire full time, you know, treat their staff as full-time employees, and now they're going to have overheads of not only higher wages but also, you know, benefits and everything else. Well, in this global economy, you can actually have staff in other countries so that you don't have to pay all those additional overheads, and the rates are, you know, 1/3, 1/4, 1/5 what you would pay for a similar kind of personnel here in the United States. So very exciting times that we live in, and now that we have infrastructure such as, I'll share a couple tools that we use. We use Google Apps, Google Hangouts, Skype, another chat program called slack.com, which is actually available for free, project management software like Asana.com, which there's also a free version available. When you combine these tools, you can effectively manage a virtual team very easily and very inexpensively. Okay, and that's what the name of the game is, because you want to make sure that you can keep your expenses low so you can scale up your business and maximize your profits. So that takes us to a very important step, which is, you know, what market do I want to be in, and what product do I want to bring to that market? Now, I'm going to share some markets that are pretty hot with you in just a moment. But one thing I want you to write down is you want to focus on. Remember, this is not selling Geritol to, you know, to retirees. This is about dealing with house on fire problems. I call it, that's my coined name, house on fire. If the house is on fire, you don't sit on the front lawn talking to the neighbor asking, you know, how was the picnic last weekend? You actually, you're screaming, saying, get a bucket of water and throw it on the fire, right? So if you have a customer with a house on fire health condition that they want to help, you know, have a natural solution for, that's what we're talking about. So we mentioned earlier, well, weight loss could be considered a house on fire problem, especially when you're dealing with such a high percentage of people in the Western society being overweight or obese. We talked about joint health, where we have people want to be have mobility and be pain-free and be able to do a lot of the things now, that they wish they could have done when they were younger, but they want to continue doing them. Cognitive health, so you can remember people's names and feel like you're quick and sharp even though you're heading into your golden years like me. Heart health. I always think about my heart and my ticker and making sure that it's, if I'm going up a hill, if I get out of breath or something like that, I'm thinking, oh goodness, I hope nothing happens. So we want to make sure that we take good care of our heart, we regulate our blood sugar, that we can stay youthful. Anti-aging types of supplements are very, very important part of this opportunity. So these kinds of markets I would call house on fire markets. And the other thing that's really interesting is that you see, as you read magazines or watch TV commercials, you'll see that a lot of the big pharma companies are also advertising drugs to address these same problems. Well, a lot of consumers are getting very sophisticated now, and they're looking for alternatives to drugs and surgery. Okay, so make sure you wrote down house on fire problem. I'm going to give you my short list, and I actually gave some of those markets just a second ago: weight loss, cleansing detox, cognitive health, energy, sexual health, eye health, heart health, blood sugar regulation, digestive health, anti-aging, which can include skin, by the way, and immune health. Okay, so all of these are great markets and a great opportunity for you to build a potential multi-million-dollar business or greater. And there's a lot of opportunities to bring great products to address these house on fire conditions, which takes us to the next step, which is formulating a breakthrough product and getting it manufactured according to what they call good manufacturing practices. Now, some people might be scratching their head saying, how can I differentiate myself? There's so much, there's a sea of confusion when I walk into Costco or Walmart and I see these store shelves loaded with supplements, and many of them purport to do the same things, right? Well, you're absolutely right. If you walk into a store, it's really hard for you to stand out. One product might look a little, have sexier packaging, but that doesn't mean that it's going to work better for the consumer. The beauty about online marketing is that you have the ability to get a consumer's attention and then tell them a story, tell them the story about your product, about the ingredients, about where the ingredients came from, about how they were manufactured and extracted, about the clinical studies that were performed on those ingredients and why it's going to work for them. And oh, by the way, here are the case studies and testimonials that back up what I'm saying. And here are the scientific reports that back up what I'm saying. All of these things are very powerful and available to you if you're selling online supplements dietary supplements online versus what happens in the retail sector. The same is somewhat true when you're selling supplements via Amazon, because while Amazon's a great channel, and by the way, Amazon is a channel. It's a sales channel. It's not really your business. It's not Amazon. You're using it as a sales channel. So what you're really relying on in Amazon is your ratings, your star ratings, and your reviews. So your ratings and reviews are really what is your ability sort of to tell your story. Well, it's a lot more powerful when you're working offline, and I'll talk about that off of Amazon. Sorry, let's call it OA, off Amazon, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. But with respect to product formulation, I'm going to give you a couple of very important tips. Number one is you don't want to be the Dr. Oz ambulance chaser. That means that just because Dr. Oz referenced an ingredient, that you shouldn't run out and make a single ingredient formula with that ingredient and put it online or throw it up on Amazon. Okay, have people been successful doing that? Sure, but what is the longevity of being able to do that? It's going to be very short or relatively short, right? So my formula for creating breakthrough products is to have not one, but typically a combination of ingredients that work via different pathways, that work via different mechanisms of action, they call it. So if you're talking about weight loss, one mechanism of action might be it regulates your blood sugar. Another mechanism of action might be it makes you less hungry. A third is it actually boosts your metabolism. Well, guess what? There are 2 or 3 ingredients that you could select that each work in a different way and assist with weight loss. And there are clinically proven ingredients that that affect each of those areas. So when you put them into a combination formula, you can tell the story about the fact that, hey, works in 3 different methods. There's different ingredients for different tasks. You can tell the story about the ingredients in terms of where they came from, their history of use, and you can tell the story of the clinical studies that back up your claims. Okay, so those are things that I do and we do at Real Dose, and I recommend that you do in formulating a product. Now, by the way, I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not a scientist. I don't have a PhD or even a master's degree. So you don't have to be one either. And it's actually very straightforward to work with formulators. I work with the in-house formulators at my contract manufacturers. I have top-tier manufacturers that I work with. They can assist with that. And also, there are formulators that you can get access to through ingredient distributors. So there's a few ways that you can get access to people that, in some cases, they'll actually formulate on your behalf if you manufacture with their manufacturing arm. Okay, and they'll do it for free if you're manufacturing with them. So that's pretty exciting. Now, the other side of this is that there are some companies that will private label their products for you. Okay, they will take their product that is a typically a combination formula that works via multiple pathways, like I talked about. It's a very high quality product, and they will allow you to put your brand, your label, just like you see in the picture there, on the product. Okay, and so you have now the ability to tell the story about the ingredients. They'll provide you with a set of claims that you can make, legally make about the product, and then you can go take it forth as your brand. The big benefit of doing that is speed to market, is also lowering your cost, because I have a company that works with my students that normally only sells through the doctor channel, but they are willing to work with my students and allow you to put your brand on their products and do it for order quantities as low as 12 units, 12 bottles. We're talking a few $100s in product. Okay, so there are a couple of different ways to do this. One is custom formulation, which is a more expensive way, and then there's the less expensive way, which is private labeling. The advantage of doing custom formulation is that you're going to get higher margins, and you're really going to be able to, differentiate your product and have a product that potentially you could sell for years. I'll give an example. Our Real Dose weight loss formula #1, we formulated now, it's going on almost 5 years, and we sell the same product, the same formula. We've not had to go back and reformulate that product, and it's very difficult for customers to go and try to price shop us, because we own the formula. It's our brand, and it's our ingredients. So that's very exciting. Now, the second part of this is, where do you get your product manufactured? Well, I work with top tier manufacturers, and by the way, every manufacturer in the United States has to adhere to the current good manufacturing practices for dietary supplements, and that's dictated by the Food and Drug Administration, and they inspect manufacturers to make sure that they're compliant with this. But on top of that, there's obviously better manufacturers than others. So I work with the top tier manufacturers. They go the extra mile in making sure that every ingredient is tested, that we go the extra mile at the end of manufacturing to test every bottle and make sure that it's got the right dosage and it's contaminant free. Okay, and we certify that, and we reference that in our marketing. So the beauty about this is, again, these manufacturers know their business. They take you by the hand, walk you through the process, and they can provide a number of the resources that you need in order to be successful, including the formulators. Okay, so once you have your differentiated product, hopefully I gave you some great education here about how to do a differentiated product. That's very, very important, especially whether you're going to sell on Amazon or whether you're going to sell off Amazon, what I call OA. That's an important step. Don't just do the Dr. Oz ambulance chasing. I know I spent a lot of time on this particular section, but I just want to make sure I delivered that message to you. And I think one person was asking, if this is about selling on Amazon, why would you want to create competitors? Well, this is actually all about selling off Amazon, but one of the things that you can do here, actually, let me hold that for just a moment, about your ability to go and sell things on Amazon once you've been selling it off Amazon, and some of the benefits of doing that. So let's move on to what I call cloud-based services setup. You guys are in such you're at such a big advantage to compared to where I was 10 years ago, because I still was in a place where we had, servers and racks, and a lot of software had to be written by hand, and you had to work with HTML coders and all this kind of stuff. Well, now we have cloud-based services for running just about everything, from building out your sales funnels, which we'll get into in just a moment, to setting up your WordPress-based website, hosting your website in the cloud, and running your entire business, including your shopping cart, your CRM system, your order management system. All of that is running in the cloud, which means you can get set up almost instantly with a credit card and pay as you go, pay relatively low monthly fees, where you're essentially paying out of the profits you're generating for your business. Okay, that's very exciting. You control these services, not someone else. So you're not going to wake up in the morning and get that nasty gram saying, "Well, we decided to shut you down." Oh crap, I'm out of business. No, you want to be in control of some things, right, and be able to control your destiny. You don't want to have that picture like I showed you before, where you're getting your butt kicked out the door, right? So this is the correct way to do it, and having your own set of cloud-based services enables you to have that level of control and safety. Okay, and those would be things such as shopping cart, or CRM system, help desk, and by the way, some of these systems, like the help desk system that we currently use, they have free versions that allow you to get going initially, and then once you achieve a certain scale, then you can start using the fee-based version of it. The other big benefit of this is that you don't have to have an IT staff on hand, that you're paying overheads for IT, because they provide the IT staff to manage these services for you. Okay, so the next step in this process is setting up your sales funnel. Well, again, you have cloud-based services for creating these funnels. There's a couple services that I would recommend that you look at. I've used and use Lead Pages, ClickFunnels, and 10-minute funnels, and these are platforms that enable you to very quickly put together a high conversion sales funnel, and then with a couple of tweaks, you have the ability to make these friendly for dietary supplements, or compliant for the sale of dietary supplements. A couple of those things that you would tweak, I'll share one specific one with you, is that on the landing page for a dietary supplement offer, if you're sending traffic to it, say from Google really is really wants to make sure that consumers know what it is that they are getting when they land on a site. They don't like you to be coy, and a lot of fly-by-night marketers, they want to be coy. They don't want to show what's happening, and so they kind of hook you in, and you're not really sure what this is about until you're 30 minutes into the video. Well, Google doesn't like that. So one thing you have to make sure you do is allow the consumer to know that there's something for sale here, and that there's a way to get to it to see what it costs, and if they want to buy, they can buy right then and there. Okay, so that's one little trick I'll share with you in order to make a site friendly for a dietary supplement offer. Okay, that applies to some other offers that are non-supplement offers, but very, very much so in the dietary supplement space. The second thing you want to watch for when you're building a sales funnel for health markets is not making improper claims. If you're selling weight loss, don't go in there and say, well, you're going to lose 30 pounds in a week, right? Very sensitive about weight loss claims in terms of pounds lost in a certain period of time. Okay, so you want to avoid that at all costs. The other thing that really can get you into trouble is thinking that you can let your consumers do the selling for you. What I mean by that is it's okay to have reviews for your product, but you can't let your consumers say anything they want and just publish it as if that's okay. Well, they said it. I'm not responsible. The reality is, from a regulatory standpoint, you are responsible for what your customers are saying if it's published as a review for your product in somewhere where your product is available for sale. So these are just some simple things. Once you know what the rules are, it's really easy to make sure you avoid the landmines. You can go and look at a review. You can edit a review to take out the material that would be considered to be a health claim or an improper claim, and leave the things such as, oh, I feel great, I have good energy, I've lost some weight. Those kinds of things are fine. I cured my cancer, I cured my diabetes, or I lost 100 pounds in 10 days are not fine, right? So those are things that tend to get people in trouble, but they think, oh, the consumer said it, I can get away with it. No, you can't do that. And by the way, The same thing is true on Amazon. So those folks of you who are selling health products, health supplements on Amazon, thinking that you can just get away with anything the consumer's saying on your reviews, you really have to pay attention to that if you want to be a player and scale and do this the right way. So I just shared several key items here in the sales funnel setup here, but the big takeaway is, number one, great tools like ClickFunnels, 10-minute funnels, lead pages, and other environments that can help you set up these funnels quickly. A couple tweaks that you'll want to make sure that it's compliant from a regulatory and an ad network standpoint. And I wanted to cover off on a couple things from a regulatory compliance as well, with respect to how you can use reviews and how you shouldn't use reviews, and how you shouldn't make improper claims. Okay? Do you guys like that, by the way? I know I'm covering a lot, but I want to make sure that that makes sense to you, that you like this extra detail, because I know some of you might be on Amazon or have thought about doing it, or even selling supplements already, but I just want to make sure I steer you clear. Why do I know? Why am I able to speak this way with authority? Well, obviously I built several companies in the online supplement space, but in addition to that, if you check out the reputation of my companies, we're not even accredited, and we have an A+ rating with the BBB. That says something about us, about the way we operate and the way we take care of customers. Okay, the fact that I have the tube socks, the YouTube socks from Google, and got the Google mug, actually two of them. my son took it from me, my 12-year-old. He thought I'm the coolest dad on the planet that I get stuff from Google, is because we operate ethically. We are an ethical health business, and that's what I'm teaching you how to do. So the next step in this process is setting up your fulfillment. You don't want to ship your product out of your house, right? I've been there. I've done that. My wife and I ran an online candle business years and years ago, and not only did we manufacture at home, we fulfilled out of the house. We were on a first-name basis with the UPS truck driver. Not recommended, okay? So there's a couple ways to do this. One is you can work with a large nameless, not a nameless, but a large fulfillment provider that kind of treats you like a number and doesn't really know who you are, and you have to do it their way. It's their way or the highway, and it's cheap, but it's relatively inflexible. Okay, and there are a lot of fulfillment partners that will do it that way. And one example would be Amazon FBA, where you have to follow their rules, and you have to it's relatively inexpensive, but there are some things that are not that flexible about how you can go about shipping things via FBA. Another way to do it that I recommend, especially if you're just getting started in the dietary supplement space online, is maybe working with a boutique fulfillment house. There are some smaller operations that can provide warehousing, pick, pack, and ship for you. We'll do custom kitting for you. So if you have a special assembly of supplements and catalogs and other things that you want to have together, they can pre-kit those if you want. And they're willing to do custom things for you on the fly. So if you need to have an extra catalog, if you need to have a thank you card, if you need to have another brochure or a bounce back offer inserted into the box, they're willing to do that for you, on a case-by-case basis. Whereas with other fulfillment providers, it's much more difficult or not even possible. Okay. Now, the other benefit of working with some of the smaller fulfillment houses, they are familiar with working with dietary supplements. They are also current good manufacturing practice certified with respect to working with supplements. They know how to handle returns. They know how to warehouse product for supplement businesses. And some of them will provide you with customer care. I call this the one-stop shop boutique, where they can do customer care, answer the phones, take phone orders, which, by the way, your website should have a phone number on it so people can call you and confirm that you're a real business and maybe order stuff over the phone, especially if you're selling to the baby boomer market, which I love. And they also, in some cases, will do email and live chat for you. So these kinds of things, are when I first got into the business, I had an operation that did all of that for me. They had a sort of an operations manager that I worked with. My orders were sent electronically to the fulfillment center. They took care of all the shipping. They took care of all the customer care. They groomed and managed the FAQs for me. And wow, and I was able to actually have a day job while this was happening for me. And they just charged me a percentage of revenue to run this. Now, for fulfillment, it typically costs me about 8% of revenue for outsourced fulfillment, and that includes the shipping. So, if we bring in $100, then we're talking about $8 for the pick, pack, ship, and pick, pack, and shipping charges. Okay, so really not that expensive, but in terms of what's happening behind the scenes, very, very capable. And by the way, these outsourced fulfillment companies also use cloud-based services so that you can manage the inventory. You see what's left. You can calculate your reorder points for reordering stock. It's fascinating, but one of the bigger things you might be worried about with a dietary supplement business is that because it's physical products, that you might run out of stock, as opposed to worrying whether or not you're going to sell this stuff or not. Because when I first got into this business, I took delivery of this inventory, and I was like, oh, how am I going to sell it? And boom, a couple months later, it's like, oh my God, I'm running out. I have to shut down my marketing, and I have to tell customers that purchased that we back ordered, and that was a whole different. You might think that's a good problem to have, but it's certainly one you want to avoid, and that's what I teach my students, how to avoid those kinds of problems. So that takes us to setting up a world-class customer care organization. And I mentioned about your virtual team earlier. We have a blended environment. I have an amazing lady that I hired in the St. Louis area via Craigslist, who had customer care experience, had call center experience, and she joined me years ago on my previous supplement company, and then now she manages our entire customer care organization. It's amazing the kinds of people that you can recruit using resources like Craigslist, using other resources for offshore personnel, and we have a blended staffing now because of the scale that we're at. It makes a lot of sense. We have agents in the Philippines who are college educated, speak excellent English, and have excellent written English. And as I mentioned, we can find those people for like $400 to $600 a month full time. And again, don't roll your eyes at this, because when we test and survey every customer after an interaction with one of our agents, and our Filipino agents consistently get as good or higher marks than our agents in the U.S. How about them apples? That's pretty amazing, right? Somebody that you're paying, 1/5 the cost of a U.S. equivalent, where you don't have all the additional overheads, really make it very interesting in our ability to run this kind of business. Now, I encourage you to put a lot of focus on customer care. Treat it as a revenue generator for your business, not as a cost center. We use a trick. I don't want to call it a trick. We use a technique that we picked up called the Net Promoter Score, where we actually survey every customer after a sale, and we ask them, how likely is it that you're going to buy? Would you buy our product again and recommend it to a friend or family member? You may have heard of this before, and they can rate us on a scale of 1 to 10. And if they give us a 9 or 10, then that's great. We know we're like Apple. They love us. If they give us a 7 or 8, it's not so great, right? If they give us anything, 6 or below, that's terrible, right? That's the end of the world for us. So we're constantly looking at this and constantly evaluating not only what we're doing, but also the performance of our agents. And they feel this. The agents know that we have this attitude from the top down, that we revere our customers, and it shines through. Not only it leads to having happier customer care agents, but much, much happier customers as well. Okay? So, and by the way, you can do this literally on a shoestring budget because of the ability to access this global market of agents and the ability to leverage cloud-based services for sending your email, your help desk software, which does your email, live chat, and doing phones. We use a phone distribution, virtual phone software to handle all of our inbound calls. So from there, you have, and this is an area where a lot of internet marketers tend to focus on. This is the thing, right? But if you've set up everything else correctly, buying traffic and optimizing your offer becomes much, much easier because you have a quality offer. You have a quality You have quality product that you can tell a great story about. You have a high-performance sales funnel that you have control over. It's not a sales funnel. It's not a product description page with a few reviews underneath it with a star rating. It is a real multi-step funnel with the ability for you to tell a full story and engage and re-engage without having to ask someone's permission. Okay, and you can optimize this so you can scale it to be. Could be a 7-figure business, could be an 8-figure business. I have friends who have supplement businesses that are much bigger than mine. Okay, and so this is where I recommend that you build a business that is not dependent upon one sales channel. That you build a supplement company that's dependent upon multiple channels: Facebook, Google, native ad networks, Yahoo, Bing. Potentially doing some affiliate marketing, which we do as well, and leveraging other channels such as Amazon and eBay. Okay, because here's the exciting thing: when you have your own brand, like Real Dose Nutrition does, and you advertise your product off Amazon OA, what's going to happen is your consumers, your prospects, are going to go look for your brand on Amazon and eBay. They're not going to go and look for Garcinia. They're going to go and look for Real Dose. They're going to go look for your brand nutritionals, okay? And that creates a whole opportunity for you to go in and control your channel, to have a store on Amazon, have a store on eBay, and make your goods available because you control that particular channel. You don't have wholesalers, or I don't recommend that you allow people to resell your product on Amazon for you. I recommend that you I'm sharing another one of my secrets here. I recommend that you control your own channels. Okay, I think that's very, very important, and so that includes Amazon and eBay. So what you're doing now is you're building awareness. It used to happen in the old days when businesses would buy advertising and drive traffic to a local hardware store or what have you to buy their products. Right here, you're creating awareness for your product, and you're driving traffic to Amazon, or you're driving traffic to eBay, or because some people might prefer to buy it from there, right? That's fine, and they may buy it from you as well. The other secret that I want to share is that we support multiple payment methods. Okay, and by the way, one of the payment methods we happen to support is Pay with Amazon. They can come to our site, go through our checkout process on our site. It's our cart, and they can check out with Amazon without ever leaving our site, and we control the experience, and we can ship from our fulfillment center. How about that? That's pretty doggone exciting, right? So that was sort of my off Amazon tip. Hopefully that was to get you excited as well. So now another thing about being able to control your customer and control them without asking anyone's permission is that you should own the customer. If you own the customer, that means you have their full record, their name, their shipping details, their email address, possibly their phone number, okay? And you have the ability to contact them without asking anyone's permission, right? You have the ability to call them if you want to follow up and make sure the order got there and that they had a good experience. You have the ability to send email to them at will without restriction. And you can bring them back to your website, and you can sell your own products on the back end. And that's what this step's all about. Because with dietary supplements, as I mentioned, it's a consumable market. You can sell the same products again and again. One of the magic things that you should do in the supplement business is, if possible, work to get your customers on continuity and do it in an ethical manner. I stress that. Do it in an ethical manner. That means let them try your product. If they would like to come on continuity, maybe send them a promotion after the fact and say, hey, if you had a great experience, I have a special offer for you if you'd like to get on we call it subscribe and save, or your auto ship program, or whatever you want to call it. But make sure you put them in control. One of the things I love about Amazon is their subscribe and save is very much a customer is controlled experience. You can go log in, you can skip a shipment, cancel a shipment, change what's going to be coming in the next shipment, advance a shipment. All those things are available to you. Those are things that make people feel comfortable to get into a continuity relationship with you, and that's really where some of the real gold is in the online dietary supplement space. You also have the ability to launch new products. And if you have, I can't tell you how many sort of fly-by-night supplement companies go out there, and all they can do is acquire a new customer because they treat the customer so poorly. The product doesn't work. It's low quality, and they put them on forced continuity. It's very difficult for them to cancel the continuity, and they burn the relationship. They never want to buy from them again. It's exactly the opposite for us at Real Dose. We have hundreds of thousands of loyal customers. They come back and buy our products again and again. But so when we launch a new product, boom, we have an instant audience, a platform of people that we can market to and make additional revenue from for new products. And we have third-party partners, trusted partners that we recommend their third-party offers to our customers. And that's really exciting. Remember, I mentioned how frustrated I am because I don't have enough of those kinds of partners that I can recommend to my audience. I have maybe 5 different companies that I feel good enough about right now to recommend, and I'm looking for more. But this back-end revenue opportunity is huge, it's vast, and it's very exciting, and it leads to something very, very powerful for you down the road. Some people mouth the word saying that, oh yeah, you can have a company that's resaleable. You can have a company that you can sell down the road. But if you build a company the right way, a dietary supplement company the right way, meaning that you're using your own cloud-based services, it's your own custom formulation, you control the customer, you have back-end revenue control, you can promote to them at will, you have multiple sales channels as I talked about, then that is a real asset. That's a business that is growing in value and is very valuable to a potential suitor. And a typical sales price for a supplement company might be, let's say if you make $200,000 in profit in a year, it's not unheard of to make between see an offer of 5 to 10 times sales, 10 times revenues, excuse me, not revenues, 10 times profits or more. So if it's 5 times profits, that 5 times 200,000 would be a business worth $1 million. Somebody could literally stroke a check, hand you $1 million, and say, "Hand me the keys to this business." The other, if it's 10 times, then you're looking at $2 million, having a business worth $2 million, 10 times 200,000. What's the difference? Well, the difference is going to be how big is your customer base, how many products you have, how good are you at selling, continuing to promote to them on the back end, what's your reputation online. Those are all the things that I teach my students how to do correctly, and using Real Dose Nutrition really is the lighthouse for that. So related to that is something that really increases the value of your business is automation, systematizing what you're doing. Okay. Remember when I said I go to places like Stavanger, Norway? I recently went surfing for the first time in my life in Manly Beach, Australia, around my time of my birthday in March, and I was able to do that because there are aspects of my business that just run without me having to be there. That's because I put it on autopilot. We have sort of like an autonomic nervous system of when an order comes in, it automatically goes and gets sent to the order management system. It gets picked up by the fulfillment center. It gets picked, packed, and shipped. If there are any exceptions to that, then we have a virtual assistant that is monitoring things and making sure that that everything's taken care of. Phones are being answered, emails are being followed up on, and inventory is being monitored. Okay? Isn't that what you would want to have if you had a business that stuff just happens? And that really has to do with having procedures in place and documenting how things work, so that everything that's repetitive is documented and someone can refer to a procedure for doing that. We use these procedures can be kept in something as simple as a Google Doc. We use a platform, again, a cloud-based system called Bloomfire. I'm sharing one of our secrets here. Bloomfire is the system we use. But the idea is that you just have a place that has, okay, what do I do if a customer calls in and wants to know is there a potential drug interaction for our product? Well, they would just refer to that particular FAQ, look it up, maybe cut and paste the answer, and put it in the email and send it to the customer. Okay, and all that stuff has been systematized so that I don't have to constantly receive emails saying, how do I handle this problem, right? So that is the only other step I would add to this mix to be successful in the dietary supplement space is really a commitment and a passion for helping people solve those house on fire problems. A lot of times I recommend to my students to focus on things that are that maybe they have a passion about. Maybe it's a personal health crisis, maybe it's a health crisis that a friend or family member is going through, and they really want to help people with this kind of problem. And that's really exciting, because this is the type of business you can wake up in the morning and feel really proud about. So, but let's talk about some of the mistakes you want to avoid. Let's avoid the landmines, okay? Because there's no reason for you to, learn things the hard way when you have the right guide. So mistake one, I alluded to this earlier, is launching an undifferentiated product, becoming the Dr. Oz ambulance chaser, thinking that you're going to pick an ingredient like raspberry ketones or quercetin or something else, and you're going to do a single ingredient formula and slap a label on it and throw it up on Amazon, right? About as undifferentiated as you can get. And at the same time, what you see a lot of people do, sometimes because they don't know better, is that they'll go to a manufacturer and say, I would like to have a Garcinia product, please. And the manufacturer will say, well, I've got this product that has human clinicals on it. It's very high quality, and it's $200 a kilogram. But I have this other product here. It's from China. They say it's got the same, it tests the same if you run a test on it, but it's not the one that the clinical study was performed on, but it's only $30 a kilogram. Well, you're sitting there scratching your head thinking, well, gee, I want to make more money. Well, they say it's the same. Why don't I just use the Chinese stuff? No, that's not the way you operate, okay? And I highly recommend that you run as fast as you can from players like that make those kinds of choices, okay? We focus on having, as I mentioned, multi-ingredient formulas that work via different pathways, okay? And you can work with a formulator to put something like that together very easily. And we choose ingredients that have true clinical studies, human studies, what they call the gold standard of double-blind, placebo-controlled study, that they are going to work and deliver the goods, okay? Yes, we have been approached by ingredient suppliers saying, hey, man, I've got a cheaper version here, but for example, we use a rhodiola rosea in our product, our weight loss product. It comes from the Altai region of Siberia. It's certified by and regulated by the Russian Federation, as opposed to the cheap stuff that can come from China. Might test the same, but again, it's a fraction of the cost. No, we spend $150 a kilogram or more for that product that comes from Russia. Okay, and what that does is it yields you a product that works, right? Number one, that's going to deliver the goods. The customer's going to have a great outcome. They're going to become loyal. They're going to share the story with their friends and family, and you're going to drive more business. Okay, so don't make mistake number one. Mistake number two is standing on the top of on the rooftops and shouting improper claims, making improper health claims that either are improper, what they call structure function claims, or maybe even making a drug claim about your product. Okay, so I gave you an example of an improper claim that, I can go and lose 30 pounds in 2 weeks. Well, the reality is that most people know, it's sort of scientifically agreed, that a healthy rate of weight loss might be 2 pounds, 2 pounds a week, not that I'm going to lose 5 or 10 pounds in a week. So you really want to watch that and be careful and make sure that you're staying inside the lines with respect to claims that you're making, and you're not inadvertently making a drug claim, such as saying, my product cures diabetes. Okay, and you don't have to resort to hyperbole. If you have the ingredients, as I talked about, if you have a combination formula and you have ingredients that are backed by human clinicals, typically the ingredient suppliers that I work with and the distributors of those ingredients will provide you the claims that you are allowed to make. And then you can use some ingenuity to maybe tell the story around those claims in an interesting way, so that people are engaged and they're going to listen to you and then take you and give your product a try. Okay, so please avoid this mistake number two. Mistake number three is related to what I said that loser acquaintance does. And in fact, I'm I hate to say it, but the loser acquaintance makes all of these mistakes. But mistake number 3 is a big one that the loser, unfortunately, would fall prey to, and that is that customer unfriendly business practices. Have any of you done business with a company that you basically said, bad taste in your mouth, I'm never going to buy from them again, right? Maybe they didn't give you a refund right away. Maybe you got onto a continuity program and you couldn't get off. Maybe it was like that episode of Friends. Ever watch that episode where they can't get out of the gym membership? Anyone ever had a gym membership they couldn't cancel? Well, I tell you what, I do. I've had that experience. And so, in the supplement world, an example of that would be a forced continuity situation where you're selling a product that has a maybe it's a free with ship offer. You get a free bottle if you pay the shipping and handling, and then after a week or 2 weeks, you get stuck onto a continuity where they're going to ship it every month or every 2 months at some egregiously high price. Usually, it's going to be 30-day supply is going to be $89 or $200 or whatever price they want to gouge you with, and then if you try to cancel. I don't know, there's an email address that no one responds to or a phone number that takes you through a phone labyrinth, and it's very difficult to cancel the order. Maybe you got to fax something in triplicate. No, you don't want to do it that way, because the reality is they're going to get back at you. They're going to go on rip-off reports. They're going to go on Amazon reviews. They're going to go anywhere they can, go to BBB and lodge a complaint, and your business is going to be toast because people do their homework on companies, right? So please, if you get into this space, do it the right way. Treat your customers like gold, and it'll pay you big dividends in return. So my success formula is really simple. I call it my success triad. Take great product, combine it with awesome support, and wrap that or promote that using ethical marketing systems. That would yield success. Okay, and I think that many of you are shaking your heads. Hopefully, yes, that this makes sense to me too. This is the kind of business that I would like to do business with. So, how many of you would like to see my quick 3-step formula for finding a house is on fire market? Would that be cool for you? Yes, please, says Roshan. Anyone else want it? I would. I'd love to see it. Thank you, Gerhard. Okay, awesome. So I'm going to. Oops, I don't want to cancel the webinar. I'm going to actually use Amazon for a different reason than actually selling my products. Okay, I'm going to use it to do a little data mining. Okay, that's one of the things I love to use Amazon for. Let me go ahead and increase the size a bit here of the browser text. Can everyone see my browser? Can everyone see Amazon.com on the browser? This is the US version. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the Shop by Department link here in the upper left-hand corner and come down to Books and Audible, and then head over to the Books section. Okay. So this is the U.S. version. If you're outside the U.S., it may be something similar. And I'm going to scroll down. In the left-hand column here, I have all these different book categories. The one I'm looking for should relate to health. Here it is, health, fitness, and dieting. It's got 684,000 titles. I'm going to click on it and scroll down again, and now I've got some subcategories here that look kind of interesting. Now, since we're looking for house on fire problems, let me take a quick drink here. If we're looking for a house on fire kind of problem, let me scan through here. Addiction and recovery, well, that sounds pretty bad. Aging, alternative medicine, well, here we go. Diseases and physical ailments, that sounds pretty scary. So might be some house on fire problems in there. Let's drill in, huh? So we're going to go in here and take a quick look, and voila. Under diseases and physical ailments, we've got some pretty scary sounding conditions. We've got heart problems, we've got heart disease, we've got high blood pressure, we've got sleep disorders, and all kinds of things or nasty things that people don't want to have to deal with, right? People, please put these fires out now, right? So I noticed when I came through here one time that there were a couple of areas that had a few more titles. These are all titles next to each condition associated with them. One was cancer, huge, 18,000. Not surprised that there are a lot of titles about cancer. But as I scrolled down through here, I noticed that there was one in particular I think this was number 2, which is infertility. And I had this, wow, I had this eureka. I don't have an infertility product, so I'm going to have to do the Men in Black zero out your memory after this, and none of you go after infertility. But infertility has 6,684 titles. I think it is number 2 here in terms of number of titles. I live in Boulder, Colorado. Maybe this is true, many places in Western society now. People are waiting until they're older to have kids, right? They're making a decision to maybe go after a career and do some traveling and do some other things. And so here in Boulder, we have a lot of, I don't feel so old as a 50-year-old with a 5-year-old daughter, because there's a lot of people that are my age or older with kids that are younger than mine. And if you're waiting that long to have kids, it can be, sometimes you'll run to a situation where you don't get pregnant. Well, so let me ask you this question. Is infertility a house on fire problem? Yes or no? Pearl Street Mall says Larry. Hey, Larry, how's it going? Gautam says not a house on fire, but let's see. Martha says yes. Mohammed says sure. Sri says yes. Jose says seems like yes. Let's see. Tamara, it is. Yes, yes, yes. So we got a lot of people saying yes. I would agree with you. No if young, yes if over 40, says James. Let's assume that maybe you're, yeah, okay, that's interesting if you break it down by age. But so what's kind of interesting, a lot of titles, which gives me an indication, it gives me an indication that this may be a house on fire problem. Plus, the next step is, does it pass your gut test? Your gut test of, do I think could this logically be a house on fire problem? I think it does pass that test. So the next thing I would do is come over to Google and let me increase the size here. The next thing I would do is come over to Google and type in infertility supplement or supplements. Okay. And now that I've done that, let me open the window up a bit here. What I'm looking for is I don't want to look and confirm that no one's selling products so that I'm the first to market. I want to confirm that there's more than one company successfully selling supplements to this market online. Okay, so as I scan through here, I noticed that, well, there's this fertinatal 1-pack female fertility supplement system for $74. There's even a 3-pack of it for $214. There's a male fertility supplement starter pack for $64.95. 4 out of 5 star reviews, 67 reviews. This Fertilate for men, 400 reviews, 4-point-something stars here. So really interesting that there are some products there that are being sold apparently successfully online. People are spending money for advertising to advertise these supplements, and the price point for these products seem to be reasonable. They're not like $6.95 bottle of Geritol or Centrum or something like that. And that's what I'm looking for. I want to validate. You kind of just went through that 3-step process with me. I wanted to see, are there some titles being written about this particular problem? Does it pass that gut check with me that this is a house on fire problem? And are there more than one company selling these products successfully online? One extra trick that I'll give you here is I would go to the website of one of these companies that's selling a product online, and I would buy their product. In fact, I would even go to I would dial up their 800 number and chat up their customer support agent, and I would ask questions like, "Hey, I'm really interested in this product. Is it popular? How many people are buying this?" And you'd be amazed at how often a customer rep who's a support rep who's bored out of their minds is going to share with you statistics about their sales run rates. And in fact, when I first got into launched my first supplement company, I was able to confirm that there were not only one but 2 companies successfully selling over $10 million a year in product, and that got me excited, right? Because you want to validate that you're getting into the right market. So that, in a nutshell, is my quick and I wouldn't call it dirty way, but quick and simple way of uncovering a house on fire market that's super hot. Okay, so one thing that I recommend in order to be successful in the supplement space, in the online supplement space, is to make sure that you, as you build your company, and this is true for any kind of business, is make sure that you get guides, that you get people to help you get from A to B to to B to C to C to Z faster. And these are the types of guys that I've worked with over the years to help me hit that X marks the spot on the treasure map of my successful online health business. I've worked with companies that have assisted me with formulation, packaging, setting up the customer care, ethical health copy, the traffic systems for this business, making sure everything's compliant. Now it's cloud-based services. I used to call it technology, and setting up the sales funnels. But let me say this: there's no, as they say, there ain't no tooth fairy. If we have just about everybody that was on the line from me from the beginning is still here with us right now, because I can tell you guys are really excited about this business, and hopefully as excited as I am. But there's no tooth fairy that's going to come in and wave her magic wand. It's funny, my daughter, who's about to be 6, she desperately wants to believe in the tooth fairy, because she's at a point now, I can imagine she just lost one of her front teeth, and she wants the tooth fairy to come and bring her money and wants to believe in the tooth fairy. But come on, we're adults. We know she doesn't exist. So she's not going to wave her magic wand and give you a successful multi-million-dollar online health business. There's some things you got to do, right, to make that happen. So that's why I put together the Health Profits Academy program. I put together this institution, if you will, to help people get into the online dietary supplement business the right way. And the way I've done that is by putting together a 6-week curriculum of intensive coaching that walks you through every single step of how to build a company ethically, how to build it quickly, how to do it for the least cost possible, and how to take as much risk out of the process as possible as well. So the 6 weekly online coaching training sessions include things such as making sure your mindset, that your head is, you're prepared to be successful and you're not going to get in your own way. That you have done the company setup correctly, that you have your branding, your core values, your entity, your bank account, your merchant account, everything prepped so that you can start taking transactions. You have your initial virtual team, so that you're not doing everything yourself, or if you're running, doing a full-time job and you're doing this on the side, that you have things that are happening even when you're not there. You have selected. We go over exactly how to select in detail. And there's several additional steps that you can go through to identify the hottest markets, and then which products specifically you might want to bring to those to solve those house on fire problems, and then in great detail how to formulate a breakthrough product and work with a formulator so that you have something that you're not only proud of, that that works, but it's not being price shopped on Amazon.com, and you get it done by a high quality manufacturer that adheres to good manufacturing practices. And because there's no reason to take all the risk, you can run the business on the same cloud-based services that I do. I provide exactly the roadmap of all the services that I use to run my business, so that I don't have to pay heavy setup fees and I can minimize my expenses. I can basically do this on a shoestring. And then set up, making sure that you have a true sales funnel. You don't just have a product description and some reviews. You actually have a process that you take people through, and you can bring them through that process at will. Okay, and that's what a sales funnel is all about, so that you can then convert those people into customers and have them be loyal and buy from you again and again. We go through exactly which companies, which firms you should work with from an outsourced fulfillment standpoint. It's not just about doing the fishing for you. It's teaching you how to fish, which is very powerful. And I talked about customer care being really a first order in your business. What are the systems you want to put in place to have the right people in place and make sure they have the right, systems and FAQs and things, so that you get those 9 and 10s out of 10s when you do your own net promoter score and your customers are raving about you. Then we can get into traffic and optimization. And by the way, it's not just one sales channel, okay? It's running on Amazon, but it's running on Google, Facebook, Yahoo, Bing, native ad networks, affiliate traffic, and others. Maybe even, hey, God forbid, some traditional traffic sources as well, such as radio and TV. So that's what gets really exciting about this, is that you can scale. In fact, any one of those sources could scale into a multi-million-dollar business. Think about the power when you add them all together. And also think about the risk reduction if one of those goes away. okay? Because you have all these other traffic sources that are taking up the slack. And then we get into the back end revenue, which you're in control of now because it's your business, your products. You can sell the same product again and again, launch new products, and recommend third-party products. We'll go through exactly how to do that and set up an editorial calendar so that you have consistent promotions going out the door. And look, we don't want to be consumed by our business. We want to be able to have freedom, to have low stress, and to potentially have a business that we can sell down the road. And that's what this is about, is putting everything on autopilot. So, but that's not all. What I've decided to do is give an extra level of access and support from me. So you get live access to me via additional live Q&A calls that are being conducted during the training, where you can get all your questions answered. You get real-time feedback as you were working on your business. Okay, you're not out there alone. Plus, you have every single resource I use to run my business. There is no separate set of books that I use and a set of books that I give to you. This is exactly the black book that I use of all the suppliers and partners I use to run my business, so you don't have to take any risk. You're working with the same folks, okay? And I will make the introductions and guide you so that you know which ones make sense for you to work with when. In addition, you have a private membership area. So everything is loaded as the training is delivered. If you can't attend the training, it's going to be recorded along with the resources and checklists and stored in the private membership area for you to refer back to as a resource again and again. And you have access to all your fellow members because I have a private Health Profits Forum. You can go in there, interact, do JVs, and encourage each other and help each other and answer questions and get your questions answered. So that alone would be an incredible value because no one else is offering a system, a coaching capability to help you launch a successful online dietary supplement company. But in addition to that, what I've decided to do for the people that really get it on the call today, and I'm really humbled by the number of people that are on the call that have stuck with me through the training. This is amazing. For the first 10 people that register for the program, I'm going to make myself available on a private call, one-on-one call with you. Okay, that's a $2,000 value. I don't sell my time. So we can cover things very, very rapidly and help you get off to the races quickly. And I also, for the first 20, I'm going to give you a free seat to my 3-day Health Profits Summit live event that's being held here in Boulder, Colorado in September. Okay, it's September 25th, 26th, and 27th. Now, if for some reason, which I can't imagine why you wouldn't want to come, but if you can't come, I'll get you the video recordings if you get the Fast Mover bonus. But you can see a picture there of, this was the last event that I held that was really standing room only. We had incredible esteemed speakers that were captains of their businesses in the online health space, and we had a number of JV deals and partnerships forged as a result of people attending the live event here in Colorado. And so we're doing it again. It's in September, and we have an equally good or maybe even better slate of speakers at the Health Profits Live event in Boulder. So I'm really, really excited about that. So let me just summarize real quick what is in the program so you have it all in one place. You get the 6 weekly live online training sessions. That's a $5,000 value. We get the 6 weekly live Q&A calls. That's a $5,000 value. You get the VIP supplier Rolodex. That's an $8,000 value. The private membership area and member forum is a $3,500 value. The Fast Mover bonus, one 30-minute call with me, one-on-one, $2,000 value. Again, I don't sell my time personally. You cannot buy my consulting time. But at a minimum, when I do spend my time on high leverage activities, I value my time at $4,000 an hour. The second Fast Mover bonus, that one ticket, a free ticket to the 3-day Health Profits Summit Live, that is just about sold out. I reserved 20 seats for this particular group, and I'm going to share why in just a moment. Why this is it. This is a last call. The total value of everything that I'm presenting here is $31,500. So let me ask you a question. Wouldn't it be worth it if someone could show you exactly how to set up this business, how to help tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people with their house on fire problems, and have you and allow you to have a business that you felt absolutely passionate about and proud about, and that you could not only help those people, but support your family, have a legacy, and potentially sell down the road. Wouldn't it be worth $31,500 if you had someone that was a practitioner? In other words, somebody that was actually running this kind of business now, showing you the ropes of how to do it. I mean, if someone came to me 10 years ago and offered this to me 10 years ago, I would say absolutely, right? I would have stroked a check instantly, and in fact, I wrote checks much bigger than this to launch my first business because I didn't have a Sherpa to walk me through things. But that's not what you're going to pay for this business, okay? For this training, I am going to make it available to you for a single tuition payment. And this is really, I'm treating this as an institution with tuition of $39.99. But you're not going to have to pay $39.99 to be a part of this program. I want it to be something that that's accessible for you, and if you're the right person for this. And by the way, I'm going to know pretty quick because I'm going to interact with you on live Q&A calls, and I'm pretty hasty to show people the door if they're not in it for the right reasons. Okay, I am not an all-comers kind of person, and you'll find that out. You'll find that out about me very, very quickly, because I'm very concerned that people are using this information that I'm sharing is incredibly powerful, and it can be used the wrong way. So I want to make sure that the people that are in this program are using it for good and doing the right things with it. Okay, so if you are planning to use this for good and doing it the right way, it's kind of like, I took my son. Actually, we're watching Star Wars recently. I watched Star Wars when it came out in '77. I was 12 at the time. I just watched Star Wars with my 12-year-old for the first time together, and so it's sort of like the dark side of the Force versus the good side of the Force. So I want you to use this for good, right? Because there's good in you, and you can do some great things with it. So I want it accessible for the right folks, and so I'm going to make that for the right people. Make it available with a tuition assistance discount of an extra $1,000 off. So make it available for $29.99. But let me address the elephant in the room, and that is, well, what guarantee do I have that this is going to work for me, Buck? Well, I'm going to give you my 100% ironclad, better than money back guarantee. You can attend this entire training all the way through the very last day. By the way, some of you may know this, but the training has already started. Okay, I've already started the live training. I'm having this training class right now, and reopening Health Profits Academy, because I've had a conversation with Jason and with John, and they asked me, because of their scheduling, they asked me to make this available for one last time before my training is complete. So you actually have the ability to come in while the train is moving. Come into the Health Profits Academy training. You can get caught up because all the material is there for the sessions I've already delivered, the checklist, the video, and the resources are all there. But you still have plenty of time to spend time with me live and take advantage of the bonuses and everything. So go through the entire training. If you're not thrilled with your newfound skills, the tools, the connections that you have for building a successful business, the potential for you to partner with people in the Health Profits community, just let me know by the last day of training, and I'll cheerfully refund every penny of your tuition, plus I'll kick in an extra $100 for your trouble. Now, the smart people are noticing that there's a URL there. Okay, this is not a joke about the seats that I have available for the Health Profits Summit. I'm having it at a small boutique Hyatt hotel that just got built here in Boulder. The conference room literally will only hold 200 people. We are almost at capacity now. So those 20 seats are it. So if you're interested in getting on the phone with me or getting a seat to the live event as the bonus, then you really want to go to that URL now, rapidcrush.com/HPA. That stands for Health Profits Academy, and take a look at number one. There is the link for the gift that I promised you there. If you could scroll down to the questions and answers, there's a link to the copywriting ebook that I promised you, so you can grab that there. But let me do this for a second. Let me share this graph with you because it had a profound impact on my life when it was shared with me a few years ago. This graph represents, or grid, represents each box or X or number represents a year in the average lifespan of someone in North America, which is a little over 78 years. And so what I've done is I've X'd every box of the first 50 boxes because I'm 50 years old. And when I did this exercise even the first time, which was a few years ago, it had a profound impact on me because I realized, man, I'm past the halfway point. And many of you who responded to me, said they were boomers, are probably thinking the same thing. It's like, well, gee, how many boxes would I have filled in right now, right? So this sort of put a fire underneath my butt, and I really want, hopefully this will put a fire underneath your butt. I'll ask you the same question that was asked of me, and that is, how many more X's are you going to fill in the boxes of your life until you decide to start living the life of your dreams? Like as with me, that might be in the form of a great company that does great things, helps a lot of people, but still affords you the freedom and enables you to live life on your terms. And I hope and pray that you have the ability to do what I'm able to do, because it is the kind of stress-free living, the ability to spend more time and be present with my wife and my kids, and now my older kids, because I have two grown kids, by the way, as well. I have a 21-year-old and 25-year-old, and then I have two young kids, is profound. It is really, I wake up and I pinch myself, and I'm grateful every day because I've made the decisions I have, and I've launched an online dietary supplement company that's doing great things out there. So I wasn't kidding when I said that people are banging on the doors. This is really the last time to get on, last call. The train is moving. You can get in the car and kind of open the door and get on the train while the door is open because we've already started the training. I have not been allowing anyone else in up to now, okay? And you might be one of the people that have contacted me asking to get in, okay? And here's some examples of emails that I've received on my help desk of people trying to get into Health Profits Academy. It's not going to be offered again this year, okay? Here's the subject line, I'd like to know when the course opens again. Hey, is it possible to get into the course? Here's a voicemail that was left for me on our support line saying, hi, I saw your offer, and gee, this is perfect for me. I'd love to get in. Well, we weren't opening the doors. This is it. This is the last chance for you to get on board. I'm not making it available again this year. It's also the limits in terms of numbers of seats that I have available for the Health Profits Summit is a hard and fast 20-seat limit. Okay. What I will do is that if you can hear my voice right now, I will, because I'm sure we're going to blow past this. I will make myself available to anyone that signs up while my voice is live here for the 30-minute consult, the one-on-one consult. So rather than limit that to 10 right now, I will go ahead. If you can hear my voice now, you will have a one-on-one consult with me if you go to rapidcrush.com/HPA. And I wanted to give you that no-brainer guarantee because I wanted you to see how to structure a win-win, no-risk. They call it a risk reversal, where I'm taking the risk because I'm going to pay you $100 if you make it through to the end of the course and decide that this isn't for you. Okay? So there's no risk for you. You're not putting anything on the line. Oh, by the way, there's also a 3-pay plan there as well. So if you want the best savings is going to be the single pay for $29.99. That's $1,000 off. If you take advantage of the 3-pay, it's a $500 savings. But either way, I would, if this is, wow, we still have quite a few folks on the line here. I tell you what, I think we have some time for some Q&A because we have such a great group here. John, are you still there?
Oh, yeah, geez. Buck, I've been taking notes like a maniac. I have flagged so many questions, it's not even funny. When there are this many people on a call, I'm just sitting here answering question after question, helping folks out as much as I can. I bet you can smell the smoke coming off my fingers from the typing. Multiple things we've got to go through here together. I hope you have enough time for this, Buck. I flagged so many questions. I did my best to make sure everyone, I had a nice one-to-one interaction with as many people as I could. Grab their questions. There are some things I want to point out, some things I must stress, some things that folks have to hear again. Another thing, too, is we've got a bonus. And it's a very, very, very important bonus. I'm going to get right to that right now.
Okay.
It's the Rapid Crush specific, a Rapid Crush only bonus. Now, Buck and I talked about this. This goes back a few days, and I said, Buck, one of the main things that I know about our audience is that they are very savvy. They're very sharp, very savvy, but specifically, they have this knowledge, this experience with Amazon. And for the most part, that's a result of a previous promotion of ASM. It is because people are selling physical products using FBA and all the associated tools and techniques and coming through us to get bonuses and wonderful stuff through Rapid Crush. Here's the deal. Here's how this works, folks. I talked to Buck and I said, geez, we need to bridge the gap because there are so many people who are currently selling or plan to sell on Amazon. And Buck, what you provide is a channel to sell dietary supplements outside of or off of Amazon. So I talked to you and we were like, we've got to bridge this gap. We've got to bridge the understanding gap. It's almost a chasm for some people. For others it's a small leap over a little puddle. But there is this knowledge and experience gap. There is this elephant in the room. We're going to solve that. Our bonuses, and we actually set aside the time, and Buck, I hope you have that. I don't have it in front of me. We set aside a training session, in effect. It's Q&A, but there's some training in there as well, where I'm absolutely going to grill Buck on the connection, the crossing of the chasm, as it were, between selling supplements on Amazon and not selling, or selling supplements outside of Amazon. What are the pros and cons of both? What does this mean if you're already selling supplements on Amazon? What does it mean to sell outside of or off Amazon? If you start outside of Amazon, how do you get onto Amazon? Make no mistake, Buck is very familiar with Amazon. He just enjoys the power and control of being able to sell through his own channel, having the ability to, understand his destiny through his own traffic and his own website. Everything is under his umbrella. He had a pretty nasty experience in the corporate world, and he got the axe. No one wants that, and he felt stung. And as a result, he's like, hey, I'm not even going to be beholden to Amazon. But you really can do both. In fact, you can go into multiple channels. We'll even talk about that. So you have your own channel, your own website, your own platform, really, your own traffic that you can drive, but also Amazon. They can coexist very, very peacefully. We're going to talk about that. So we're going to do that, Buck. That's next week. We set it up so that you'd get immediate benefit. We wanted to absolutely make sure it was just blindingly clear, just a flashing bright light, like I got it. Buck, I believe it's Wednesday, and yep, you got it. Have you got it there?
I don't have. I would have to. Let me.
I think it was Wednesday, folks. I believe it was Wednesday noon Pacific. Let's check on that. And Buck, while you're doing that,
yes,
let me rant a little bit. Let me rant and rave just a little bit because I'm so excited about this. All of us here at
Noon Pacific is right. Mm-hmm.
Noon Pacific.
By the way, you guys are awesome because so many people are chiming in that we're in. So congrats to Susie, Matthew. Who do we got here? Michael. Wow. Greg. I'm just scrolling through here. Fantastic, Suzanne. Woo. Okay. I'm on fire. I'm stoked. Already people saying, "Hey, I can't wait to talk to you."
Oh yeah, 1-to-1. I mean, Buck is the real deal. I don't just play people up. If someone's really talented, but maybe they're not so friendly, I'll be like, "This guy is really talented." I might not say they're friendly and they're awesome and they've been around the block. And Buck's got it all. He's been there. He's done that. Like I said, he's been burned in the past. He's learned from his mistakes. Not really even his mistakes. It's the situation, learning to, you're not controlling your destiny. Yikes. When you don't control your destiny, it just hurts. It just hurts to have someone else control your destiny, and it doesn't have to be that way. We're going to get to some questions in a minute, Buck, but I wanted to ask everyone's permission. Do I have permission from everyone to really go a little bit crazy here? I'm not trying to hard sell, but I'm so passionate about this. Do I have permission to go a little crazy? Type in something that lets me know I'm allowed to go crazy. Like, yes, go crazy, John. Go a little nuts here. I'm seeing a lot of, yeah, go nuts, bro. I love it, right? Sure, go nuts, go crazy. Now here it is. Thank you for the permission. I really appreciate that. I suggest that you be like Buck. Follow in his footsteps. And the reason is not just, oh, Buck's a nice guy and he's got the system and all that. He is a proven success. He's a modern day business hero. I really look up to Buck and what he's done, how he's come back from the brink, from collapse, thrust upon him. Look, when you're working for someone else, the reality is it's all or nothing, unless you are already independently wealthy, unless you have the means already. But it's really very binary, on or off. You want to have that control. You want to follow in the footsteps. You want to have the proven success right there to tap into, and that's Buck. Buck's his business, his experience. That's pretty cool. Now, so you're wondering about Buck. He's genuine, a real person. He cares about his family. He cares about his customers that he's selling his products to. And he cares about you. I hope that's extremely obvious here, right now. The level of care is through the roof. And not everyone cares. They just want your money. They treat you as a customer. Who wants that? No one. So we've got Buck here for you. Buck the person, Buck the training, Buck the business. It's all there. You get access to everything. And do you feel the thrill of true personal freedom as well, and a proven formula? I mean, do you actually feel that? Go ahead and let me know that you feel the business. Because if you don't feel the business, I mean, that's pretty important. If you don't feel the business, and Buck, you said this earlier as well, you should feel it in your gut that this is right for you or not. I'd actually like to, almost issue a command. Get off the line if you don't feel that this could be right for you, or even that it is right for you, because you're not in the right place at the right time.
Well,
but if you feel like...
Susan just
go ahead.
She says, I like the ethical focus, and that is the watchword here, ethical health businesses. If you're here to create an ethical health business, I welcome you with open arms. If your intent is something else, then, I'm going to respectfully say, please go elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's very, I mentioned, things being binary. It is very binary. You either feel it in your gut and you understand that Buck only wants to work with ethical people, build up ethical businesses. Because really, ethical businesses, ethical people, they drive true legacy businesses, businesses that last, businesses that sell not for a simple multiple of, hey, I made $100,000 last year and I can sell it for 50 or 100,000 if I'm lucky and really twist someone's arm. But hey, no, it's a solid ethical business. Let's say you make $500,000 next year. Multiple of that, actually make it, by the way, profit. A multiple of 5 or 10 times, you're looking at, $2.5 million. You're looking at $5 million. Not just flipping it, by the way. You can continue to enjoy the profits coming in. But it's your choice whether or not you're going to enjoy the profit coming in, or you're going to flip the business to someone else who wants an ethical business, who wants the equity and understands the cash flow. I mean, is this or is this not in alignment with your core values? Again, being ethical, about the truth. This is about adding value, helping other people. Now kind of come in closely here and stop. Let me ask you something, and I really do mean this. What do you stand for? I mean, seriously, stop in your tracks for a moment. Now, Buck showed you a screen a short while ago where there were dates on there and his age, and he really put it out there. What do you stand for? What do you want to pass along to your children? What do you want to provide to a charity? What do you want to gift to the world, right? Okay, this is it, right? What's my legacy? I need to say that this fits. Again, it's important to have that alignment. Buck needs to see this too, by the way. Whether you've invested or not by now, listen, let Buck know. Say this fits. Buck, I have a few other things to hit. I'll hit them in a little while. First, I want to do the following. Let's answer some of those questions.
Thanks, sir.
Speaking of being ethical and honest and making sure that we cover everything, I have at least 7 or 8 questions, and they're very important questions for people
I just want to say this. I get a little nervous because I get a little nervous when I'm very clear that we want these to be ethical businesses because that's the way I operate. That's the way we operate. But look, I'm very sensitive to. There's a lot of people out there that say, "Hey, I'm ethical," or I'm on the up and up," and that kind of stuff. So I definitely would understand people thinking, "Well, okay, that's great that you're saying that." So I think that what you'll want, what you'll find as going through the training, as you look at what's on that page, if you go to rapidcrush.com/HPA, if you look at the things that I've said, you can verify that, for example, that we have an A+ rating on the BBB for Real Dose, even though we're not accredited. We don't pay them anything to give us an A+ rating. Companies, people that don't operate ethically, they don't have that. They have bad reputations. I highly recommend that you take. Sometimes you want to take what I say with a grain of salt, maybe even take what John is saying with a grain of salt. It's okay to be from Missouri, and I'm sensitive to that. I just want to say that I'm just honored that you guys are here and that so many people are on the line still as we're going through this Q&A. So John, I just want to say thank you for making this happen. Because I feel such a good vibe. So many people have chimed in here. Misra just said that they signed up. Christopher saying I'm aligned. It makes me feel really, really good. I feel good energy on the call tonight. So thanks, John, for making this happen.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, Buck. And that actually, interestingly to me at least, it lines up very, very closely what you just went through about the building up an ethical legacy-based business. One of your bonuses and one of the reasons why, it might be like, well, geez, why does Buck care? I mean, really, why does Buck care so much about the alignment and running an ethical business? I mean, and obviously it's like, that makes him feel good. Well, okay, that's true, but in terms of running an ethical business, there's almost a selfish, a bizarrely selfish reason to do it. And here it is. Think about the bonuses. Think about the bonuses. There are 3, and I will touch on them again, and I'll talk to Buck about them. But one of those bonuses is his VIP Rolodex. Now imagine you're in Buck's shoes. You've got your Rolodex of trusted partners and suppliers. Are you really going to hand that out to people? Are you really going to give that to people off the street? Or is it only going to be people who are in alignment with your values, who are running an ethical business? Hell no, not unless they are in alignment. You're not just going to hand that out like Halloween candy. Ain't going to happen. So for your peace of mind, but more importantly, again, selfishly, this is about Buck's peace of mind. He doesn't want any, and no offense to any of these folks, but he doesn't want any Tom, Dick, or Harry coming on in. Hey, I'll throw my hat in the ring. I'll just make a go of this. I'm just going to push as hard as I can. I'm going to bring people in. I'm going to make a buck. Buck's going to make a buck, right? Buck's got to make a buck. That couldn't be further from the truth. This is peace of mind. And the other thing, too, is that Buck has realized something very important here. I don't know if you caught this. This is a secret within a secret. The trusted partners include you. Did you realize that? Buck's trying to expand his network of trusted associates and partners with businesses just like his, modeled after his, because he can tap into your business, your expertise, your supply chain, what you learn, lessons learned. You'll be part of the army. Again, this is all somewhat selfish in a way. Buck's a great guy and all, but look, he's trying to make money, guys. He's trying to make money, but he's trying to make money not at your expense, but with you as a partner. Do you feel the peace of mind here on both sides? Your peace of mind, it makes sense, right? And this is just a VIP Rolodex. I'm only talking here about the Rolodex. We haven't even talked about the private one-to-one consultations. We haven't talked about the Health Profits Summit, where you get to do the crazy eye test and actually look Buck in the eye, shake his hand, and say, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you for the inspiration. Thank you for the connections, the JV partners, the insider knowledge. Thank you, Buck. You get that as well. Okay, Buck, some questions. Here we go. Number one, Mohammed says, hey, is there a fulfillment service to take care of inventory? Let me expand that for a moment. Is there a solution to every problem that you've run into, Buck, in this business? Has there been anything that is insurmountable to you? Anything?
One of the things that we cover in the training is also mindset, and one of the things we cover in that, and I train people on, and I've learned over the years, is being flexible and fluid as a business builder. So have we encountered adversity over the years? Sure, there have been things that have occurred. Some of them have been related to being dependent on one sales channel, for example, like being only dependent upon Amazon, right? So that we have learned not to do as we build our businesses going forward. Nothing has. I'm still here today, running a successful online dietary supplement company with my partners. So I guess the proof's in the pudding. We're still going strong, enjoying and taking care of thousands of customers each month. From my perspective, nothing is insurmountable. And if you do it the way I teach, you're not going to have to worry about getting the slap from the networks or getting the slap from regulatory agencies.
Yeah. So the level of specificity, how deep you want to dive, that's up to you, right? That's up to you. You've got the question, bring it to Buck. That's exactly what the training is for. That is exactly what your consultation, the one-to-one, nose-to-nose, toes-to-toes virtual consultation, then you can actually meet Buck as well, right? So it's all surmountable. Let's just face it. Been there, done that. Buck's got the answers. Okay, Jolynn has a very interesting question, Buck.
Yeah.
Hey, I've used one product for years and years. I love this product. Okay, how can I find its formula and make it and brand it myself and so on? So I know many people, I'm sure you do as well, Buck, and just the neighbors and folks you meet downtown and so on. Folks who say, "Oh, I've taken this forever." We all know folks like that, by the way. That shows the demand. Is there a way to reverse engineer, supplements and things like that, Buck?
There are many supplements out there that are using ingredients. Some of them are branded ingredients that have clinical studies supporting them. So it is possible to take a formula to a formulator at one of the manufacturers, for example, in my VIP supplier Rolodex, and they quite often can reverse engineer the product and help you come out with a lookalike. I would recommend that you consider doing a lookalike plus. In other words, adding your own twist to the formula, which you can do.
I like it, Buck. Yep. I like it. Look-alike plus, guys.
Look-alike plus. I like to do a twist.
Man, that's powerful stuff. There you have it. Okay, Debbie, I love this, Debbie. I'm so glad you asked this. And I think anyone can put themselves into Debbie's shoes. Debbie says, look, I'm a factory worker. Can I do this? I've just got a high school education, but I do catch on fast. And I can tell Debbie, you mean business. You mean this, and you are in alignment with Buck. I get it. So it's a matter of, hey, do I have the right technology, the right experience, the right mindset? Do I have the right stuff? Am I the right kind of person for this? Buck, if someone is in a particular situation, if we look at their technology, if we look at their the education, any of that, does any of that stop someone? Are any of those true barriers, Buck?
Now, if you have average intelligence, you do not need to be a rocket scientist. You do not have to be a health practitioner. I know we have health practitioners on the line because this is obviously something very interesting to people that already have a health career, and that makes a lot of sense. But you do not have to be a health practitioner or have a special credential. And it doesn't matter if you're a factory worker. It doesn't matter if you're, doing what I did, which was living on planes, trains, and automobiles. Talk about a type of job that makes it difficult to find time, right? There are, you can build this business at the speed that you're looking to do it, and I actually have spent a lot of time putting together the training in a way that takes into consideration that you might be doing this on a time on an expanded timeline or on a rapid timeline. It's really up to you, right? So my short answer, it was Debbie. The short answer is yes. And I mean, the fact that you're here on the call with us, and we're a couple hours into this webinar, and you're listening to this material, shows me how serious you are. You are passionate about this particular topic and the potential for this business, and your willingness to do something to make a change in your life. So, based on what you just demonstrated to me, my short answer is yes.
Yeah, I dig it. I couldn't agree more. And a couple of people have said, "Hey, the most successful, most of the most successful people I know, graduated high school and they were off to the races. Grit and determination, 90%." Okay, Dimitri speaks for many people. Dimitri, thank you for asking this question. Will you reveal this, the resources for setting up a business for foreigners and so on? But that really summarizes, or that sort of puts a fine point on the real question, or the deeper question, Dimitri, which is, hey, I'm not living in the United States. I live outside the United States, and is this a United States only type of business? Buck, could you give us the scoop on whether or not this will work for folks outside the U.S. and is it like is like all these major hurdles? What does it really mean for folks outside the U.S.?
Yeah, that's a great question. I have a large contingent of non-U.S. students in Health Profits Academy. It is absolutely for non-U.S. citizens. I was trying to show the audience here that here it is. Okay. When we had the Health Profits Live event, it was an international show, because we had folks from Malaysia, from Canada, from the UK, from Australia, from New Zealand, from Germany, from Holland. So so the short answer is yes. I will provide you the contacts to get your company, your bank account, your merchant account, the entity, all of that set up. I actually have a resource that can work with people outside the U.S. that does not require you to set foot on U.S. soil if you want to get all of that set up in the United States, which is one of the things I recommend. Yeah, it's an amazing thing because of the global market that we're in and the ability to leverage cloud-based services, and for you to tap this 300 million person strong market, which is the U.S. dietary supplement market. It's so vast, and of course there's opportunities to we sell product. We ship to consumers in Australia, New Zealand, Canada, UK, and the rest of EU as well.
Love it. As I had mentioned to you previously, Buck, and as many folks have heard, there are a lot of people here who are doing private labeling and selling all kinds of physical products on Amazon. And Karen just flat out asked, Karen, wow, I think this is great. Mm-hmm. So how is this different than private labeling that we learned with ASM? Love the question. Boy, right for the throat on that one. I appreciate that. I think it's the right question to ask for so many people. Thanks for stepping up to the plate for so many folks. I thank you for that. One thing is this. Buck is all about supplements. Health Profits Academy, all about supplements. rapidcrush.com/HPA for more information, right? So supplement specific, dietary supplements in particular, very, very specific. And when you get specific, guess what you can do? Drill for oil, mine for gold. Supplement specific, dietary supplement specific. Number one. Number two, you're getting access to something that is very, very difficult to get from just about anyone. Think about what you know about ASM, and even the folks within, the ASM Masters group, folks who are, your friends and colleagues. They don't share an awful lot about their resources. They might share ideas and techniques, procedures, processes, but they don't very often share their suppliers. They certainly don't share the golden Rolodex and one of the hottest, if not the hottest environment, the hottest niche that we've seen, right? I mean, it's just nuts. No one does this. And Buck, it's like, whoa, I know you're not holding anything back. You are getting instant insider access. You are drilling oil. You're tapping that vein. You're going very, very deep. It's deep and narrow. This is a beautiful thing. Furthermore, all the exact best practices in this market and niche. No generalities. We're not talking about being vague here. We're in a niche. We're in a market that's very, very specific, yet it still has unlimited potential for you. Billions upon billions of dollars. System, tools, people. And look, the fact that it's not Amazon, or not Amazon specific and Amazon focused, is to your advantage because you learn another channel and you own that channel. And no one says you can't take that product, those supplements, onto Amazon and use both channels or multiple channels. And let's get a load of this too. The Rapid Crush bonus, the Rapid Crush only bonus, the Q&A session that I've set up with Buck next week to answer more questions about Amazon and making the transition, crossing the chasm. Do you understand? Does everyone who is inside ASM understand all? I mean, I just mentioned like 5 or 6 things, and Buck, I bet your mind is blown as well. I'm not sure if you really thought of those things exactly, but I meditated on this. I'm like, geez, it's about being specific. It's about the Rolodex. It's insider access. It's direct knowledge of suppliers, manufacturers, people who do things for you, design and deliver. And then you own it all. It's outside of Amazon as well.
Well, I'm gonna use some pop culture here. I don't know if anyone has ever watched the TV show Grey's Anatomy, because we're talking about healthcare, so that's a show about an ER. But somebody come in and they gunshot wound or whatever it is, and of course they're going to do the stop the bleeding and bring the blood pressure back up and all that kind of stuff, the basic stuff. And there are docs and interns that are trained to do that, right, and are qualified to do that. But if he's got a bullet fragment in the brain, who do they bring in? They bring in the neurosurgeon, right? They bring in McDreamy. Not that I'm McDreamy, by the way. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying, I am the neurosurgeon when it comes to launching an online dietary supplement company. So
who makes more? Who makes more money, right? I mean, let's face it, guys. Who makes more money? The general practitioner, the family practitioner. I mean, seriously, who makes more money?
Right.
Who's more focused? Who could stay on top? Here's another thing, Buck. We didn't even talk about this. Who can stay on top of their game better? Who can stay on top of the game better? Versus all things to all people, versus being generic. Who wants to be generic? You don't build a legacy business being generic, folks. You can build a pretty powerful company. You can launch product after product after product that does work, and your private labeling and your marketing can differentiate you. But these are naturally, that's the difference here, right? So you can differentiate private labeling on Amazon, utilizing ASM and so on. But supplements done Buck's way, this is what I love. They are naturally differentiated. Do you see the difference there? Because of the nature of the formulation, for the nature of how your particular supplement comes together, it automatically makes you different than everyone else. This is beautiful. Makes you the purple cow. Love it.
Thanks, John.
Okay, a couple more questions here, Buck, and then we'll really think very seriously about wrapping up. But a couple more questions I think are pretty important here. And I think this is pretty important.
By the way, Daniel was kind of being patient here too. He had a question about do you have the ability to get a patent on new supplements? You can't. Supplements are one of those things where think of it. In some cases, it's like a recipe, and sometimes you can't really patent the recipe because pumpkin pies are not patentable. You can patent things such as an extraction method. You can patent, in some cases, things such as delivery mechanisms, unique delivery mechanisms. In some, for example, there's some delivery mechanisms that can increase bioavailability of the supplement that when they're used together. You can patent things. Sometimes you can patent ratios, which I disagree with actually, but some people have gone and secured a IP on a ratio of EPA and DHA and omega-3 fatty acids, for example, which is sort of an iffy kind of thing. But in general, what you see happen in the industry is that people create proprietary blends. So they try to hide kind of the ratios of what they're using to create some mystery. They might give the proprietary blend a name, a unique marketing name, like ultra weight loss XP, blend or what have you. The other thing that they'll do is they'll leverage patented ingredients. So ingredients that are a specific blend or extraction method that's been applied. Because if you use that ingredient, only that ingredient with that extraction method is the one that can make the health claim, because that's what was used in the study. So those are important things to consider. So I don't know that you need, first and foremost, you do not need to have a patent on your formula in order for you to be successful in this business. Let me just make that claim.
Yeah, that's great stuff, Buck. I mean, and what's funny is, you got all mad scientist on us there. You got into behind the curtain mode. I could tell you got into the real deal.
Right.
This is exactly how it operates, and you get that. Gosh, geez, I mean, think about that. You're getting that one-to-one time with Buck for your product, for your dietary supplement. Okay, you get that one-to-one time with Buck to run through those.
Hold on, I'm still live on the call. Everyone that signed up gets a one-on-one call with me. That's awesome. That's great. No, that's insane. Awesome. I love speaking with folks. By the way, it's so much fun because, by the way, the call is not something that expires, so you can take advantage of it when you're ready. And it can be that one little directional that you need, where we can go through your specific situation and what you're planning to do and why you're doing it, and that validate and help steer you can make all the difference.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Okay, let me make sure, the urgent, critical questions. Okay, we talked about that. Yep, we talked about your approach. Oh yeah, I thought this was a pretty fair question. I know that it's a whole range of dollars, Buck, but there is this question of, I've made my investment in Health Profits Academy. I'm committed. I'm in alignment. I'm an ethical marketer, ethical entrepreneur, and so on and so forth. I'm in. In fact, I've seen that again and again and again and again behind the scenes here. But the question is what's it going to take, dollar-wise, time-wise, to really get going above and beyond the tuition? All right. So, and I appreciate the tuition assistance, and I've seen comments about that as well, Buck. So thank you for making this available to more people with the tuition assistance. But back to the course, in terms of viability and time and so forth, can you talk a little bit more
Sure.
about that, like what it takes to invest in terms of time and money, perhaps?
Yeah. So there's a couple things. In terms of time, you can definitely do this as a part-time initiative. So I did it. You could do it. Okay. I ran a father, wife, 2 kids, planes, trains, and automobiles, still was able to build this business and didn't have a guide like I'm going to be a guide for you. Second thing is there are 2 roads that you can take. One is the private label route, which I have access to a manufacturer, by the way, that only sells through docs. And because of the caliber of the education I'm offering through Health Profits Academy, they've agreed to make their products available on a private label basis to Health Profits members, only to Health Profits members. So I'm really proud about that. You could, go find, there's a lot of companies that will private label their products, but they won't be of the same caliber as what's available to members. If you do private labeling, I would recommend that you have somewhere on the order of $5K working capital to cover things such as initial inventory, some capital for some testing for online ad buying, and for your initial cloud-based services and a VA. So that would be one route. If you're going the custom formulation route, which is we're going to go in the training, we'll cover exactly what the pluses and minuses are of doing private label versus custom formulation. Custom formulation is more expensive because the manufacturers they require larger minimum order quantities if you're doing your own formula. There's a lot of steps that they go through with the current good manufacturing practices requirement by the FDA to make sure that ingredients go through that they're properly tested, that they're put into a holding space for a period of time, to make sure that they're not contaminated, that they're blended and encapsulated in a certain way, that all the machinery that is used to manufacture the product is cleaned in between runs properly and inspected. So when you do all of that, the setup time and the teardown time is pretty costly. That's really the most costly thing from a manufacturing standpoint. So they typically will quote you on a capsule or tablet minimum of somewhere around 150,000 tablets or capsules to 250,000 capsules or tablets as a minimum order quantity. That could the cost of that's really going to range based on what market you're getting into and the cost of ingredients. So it could be as low as $12,000 for a custom formula. It could be, you know, more than $20,000 for a custom formula just for the inventory. Okay, so to just give you a range of what you're talking about, if you go custom route, that would be just for the inventory. And by the way, the inventory is an investment. You're buying product that you're going to sell online. And as I mentioned, one of the big problems that I ran into when I first got into this business was not my ability to sell the product, it was my ability to keep product in inventory. So those are the two routes. I would, so, you know, really the other investments, both routes require similar investments in terms of, you know, cloud-based services and company setup and those kinds of things. But one is, you know, the custom formulation route is going to be more expensive. You can do the private label route for about $5K, I would imagine.
Yeah. And Buck, can you commit to those folks who are making the investment when you have the one-to-one call with them? Can you commit to helping them make the right decision for their circumstance? I mean, is that something that you? Is that something that you can? Is that something that you can? Is that something that you can really help folks do? I mean, absolutely right.
Yes. I mean, if
they're not on their own, they're not on their own. You can help them one-to-one decide, hey, what should I do? Because we're all unique, right? So, one-to-one, can you make that commitment? Like, yeah, I will help anyone and everyone in Health Profits Academy make the decision, the private label or the custom formulation route.
Guys, I'm not taking my personal time lightly in this. You know, 30 minutes with me is my personal time and energy, and we all know when you're putting mental energy into something that takes up a lot of effort. And I'm thinking about your specific situation, and how to ensure your success. So absolutely, I commit to helping steer you in the right direction and helping you make the right decision for you. And that's what this is about. So that's why I'm making myself not only available on the 30-minute call for the one-on-one, but also the live Q&A calls, because those are kind of open formats. So you can come in. I actually bring people on the line and hear their voices if they want to, or they can type in the question if they want to, and we can make sure that you know any and all questions are open. Nothing is verboten when it comes to the Q&A calls that we're going to have.
Yeah, and in addition to that, don't forget the Rapid Crush only bonus next week. Okay, next week, next Wednesday, noon Pacific, and we'll reach out to you. I'll work with Buck to make sure that we're in contact with everyone. Okay, you will have access to that. So again, if you are interested, curious about how all of this relates to Amazon, how to take advantage of Amazon in the smartest way, Buck actually gave you a small taste of that. I'm very surprised, Buck. Because that really, I mean, what you showed today, tonight, just showing that how you can get a real good idea about what markets are hot just by going to Amazon, and I know there's so much more as well that we're going to be talking about next Wednesday. A couple other things fast here. We are going to be wrapping up very soon, folks. You've got to make your investment. You need to head over to rapidcrush.com/HPA. There's a bunch of great information.
Here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do. This is nuts.
Whoa!
But
what is this?
We are 6 over the 20 seats, so we're already significantly over, exhausted on the seats. I have been doing a little holdback here, and since we still have people on the line, I'm going to make an additional 10 seats available now, but just for this live session here. So if you're on the fence and if this is the difference maker for you, we are already out of the seat. The 20 seats are gone. Okay. You'll still get the one-on-one call with me if you're hearing my voice, but the 20 seats are gone. I'm going to open up right now just this moment, I'm counting them right now, 10 additional live seats to the live event. If that, because Rebecca was just asking me if it's still available. So Rebecca, if you haven't signed up yet and you want to get it, I would get in right now. Get the seat to the live event, Health Profits Summit event that's going to be at in Boulder, Colorado, September 25th, 26th, 27th. That's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I promise you, if you come to that event, not only will you be blown away, you will be inspired, and it will be the partners that I have generated at live events I've carried them forward for years. My business partner that I'm working with, both of my partners, Michael Lovich and Dr. Steven Siskin, I met them at live events. Okay, you cannot underestimate the power of bringing birds of a feather together that are passionate about a topic such as an online dietary supplement business, because I know deals have been cut, partnerships have been forged, and people are motivated and inspired because they make the time to come to this. And by the way, Boulder, Colorado is pretty doggone beautiful in September, if I don't mind saying so myself. So let's see who's going. Let's see.
Yeah, Buck, that reminds me very much of Jaws, right? Where I can't think of the boat captain, but it's like a Buck. As far as the room goes, I know you're getting very, very close to capacity. Buck,
I'm actually scared. I'm actually a little frightened about people are going to be sitting on each other's laps if we go much more in this. So we want to make sure there's some comfort.
Yeah, but I got to say it though. Ready? Here we go. Buck, you're going to need a bigger boat. Right?
By the way, this ain't Vegas. You're not coming to Vegas and at 3,000 or 4,000 people who you're not going to be able to get to know. This is an intimate group of 200 people. With the speakers, with me, you'll be able to spend quality time and I'm going to have many of the folks from my VIP Rolodex suppliers and most trusted partners are going to be there. My business partners in Real Dose Nutrition will be there speaking at the event and making themselves accessible to you. So don't underestimate the value and the power of this. And I'm so excited for the folks that have already taken advantage of it. This is amazing. And John, I'm speechless, actually. Are there a couple more questions we can get answered?
Well, I'm so excited as well. I mean, has it ever occurred to you that it's possible? I mean, that it's even possible to sell health and wellness, really, truly help others. We talk about businesses that we're passionate about, and we want to help people. In this case, you are physically helping people, in some cases extending their lives, improving the quality of their lives. Has it ever occurred to you that it's possible to sell this health, this vibrance, these good feelings through quality, right? Real, honest to goodness quality. And what about safety? And there's this fear factor we talked about very early, Buck. I talked to you about this independently. The initial response was, boy, people are a little bit scared here. Well, this is the warm fuzzy safety blanket. I mean, it really, really is. It's safety in the following ways. It's safe to you, safe to your business, but also safe for your customers. When I say safe, it's because of the quality. It's safe because of the formulations. It's safe because of the nature and the quality of the stellar reputations even of the people that you're working with, even your fellow customers, the folks that are making the investment, the clients, Buck's clients right now. You're rubbing elbows with the best of the best. If you're here because of Rapid Crush, and you are, if you're here because of Rapid Crush, and you are, I can say that twice, right, very strongly, you know that you are hanging out with the best people. You know it. And I know, by the way, I got a tremendous amount of feedback last year about Buck's event. I heard nothing but good things about the event when Buck ran it previously. And that was without even soliciting feedback. It was incredible. And a big part of that was Buck plays the long-term game, and I'm sure you do as well. It's a long-term business plan. It's a legacy business, and isn't that appealing? And there really is more. You're getting that protection. And I'm a little bit hesitant to say this, but it really is protection from Amazon. It's not protection that, Amazon's going to come along and just squash you like a bug, but Buck provides you with the ability to have yet more channels to sell in, more ways to make money outside of Amazon, but with Amazon as well. So it can be and or. There's also the pride in your business. You're able to actually explain to others how you're helping them. It's so easy. And I wouldn't advise you, by the way, to act on this if you didn't feel good about Buck and this system. You can see his one-to-one interaction there. Buck, I just love it. The one-to-one interaction with people. I know that you spent a tremendous amount of time not just speaking from the stage and pontificating and so forth, right? Lecturing and playing the almighty. Instead, you were down in the crowd. You were in the trenches. You were working with people one-to-one. With a couple hundred people, that's pretty intimate. You're actually able to get around and work in small groups, talk to people individually, hear their stories. I know that's what you did. I mean, Buck, I know for certain, absolute certainty that's what you did. Another thing that's interesting that I saw again and again, I'm just going to squash this. Hey, what about competition? Listen, competition, seriously. Buck likes this saying. It's pioneers get slaughtered. Who wants to go out under the great frontier and come back with arrows in your back? You actually want. There's James Jones. What a guy!
Yeah.
You want competition. You actually want competition, and because it's proof that there's a market there. It's proof that people are spending money. And look, competition allows you to differentiate yourself very easy. You don't want to be in a commodity market. You want to be in a market where it's easy to differentiate and stand out and outmarket other people. And if there's one thing that Rapid Crush can help you do is outmarket other people. That's why we brought Buck in to work with you. All right? I mean, this is, if you're not convinced, think of this. It's not like you're trying to compete with Apple and its iPhone, or even folks that are providing, various sorts of accessories to the iPhone, right? I mean, there's so much room here that this is a $40 billion market. You get to be the Apple. You get to be releasing the iPhone and the iPad. These are yours. These are your, not just the labels and the brands, but the actual physical product that people are using is unique. It's unique. That's what Buck is training and teaching and showing you what to do. It's not just grab this off the shelf. Now you can private label and do that and get going pretty fast, but the unique formulations, uniqueness lets you stand apart and sell that much more. So Buck, you can feel my passion here. I'm very, 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 very passionate about helping other people, the ethics of the business, the ability to be unique, access to you directly, access to your partners, to your golden Rolodex, access via the one-to-one private consultation, and your commitment to people to help them make the right decisions about their unique businesses. The actual live summit where you're spending time with people direct one-to-one, and your partners as well are interacting with folks one-to-one. I mean, what's not to like about this? Seriously, what's not to like about the Health Profits Academy and Buck? I mean, it's beautiful. It's so beautiful.
Couple questions. A question came in here that if you're in the business with a business partner, you can definitely attend the academy training, okay, for the 6-week training program. As far as the seats to the live event, we may have a couple of seats on a first come first serve basis. There will be a the rate will be $999 for an additional add-on seat for a spouse or business partner on a first come first serve basis. So that's how that will work. I will apologize in advance if those seats are not available because we're at such a capacity. You can tell that this, the room that we have at the Hyatt is not much bigger than this room here that we had at the Marriott in Boulder. So it'll accommodate a few more people, but it's about 200 people. And we're keeping it small because I like keeping it small. I like to get to know you, and this is what makes it fun. All right, is having that kind of intimacy in this environment, so the folks that are the most serious and the most dedicated and passionate about doing this the right way. And you can tell that this is an international group here. That I'm very I'm blessed. I'm excited. I'm blessed. Are there other questions? I want to make sure we get everyone taken care of here, John.
Well, we talked about, getting started and what that takes. We talked about, level of experience. Hey, I don't have pharmaceutical experience. I don't know how to formulate supplements and so forth. We talked about that. We also talked about getting answers one-to-one. Well, absolutely. That's the whole point of the consultations. What about my business? That's what you talked to Buck about. That's who you spend time with, directly with Buck. You've got that. I mean, that's one thing that Buck can provide. He can provide to a limited number of people. He can provide his time, the consultation, the 30-minute consultation. Yeah. I mean, Buck, I'm taking a look here, and everything has either been answered directly or indirectly. We talked about replays and access to the event. We talked about folks getting access to the training if they have a legal relationship with like a partner or a family member who's working with them. So we talked about those things. Yeah, I mean, this is incredible. It's an incredible opportunity. There's tremendous overlap for those folks who are already selling physical products on Amazon. There's just a crazy amount of overlap. And even though it's not selling on Amazon, it's still selling physical products that are consumable. And that means, guess what, repeat customers. And that means we're a lot closer to having a passive income. We've talked about the fear factor, overcoming that directly, indirectly. We've talked about the government agencies a little bit. And again, anything that you want more detail on any of those things, easy enough to ask Buck, hey, what about this? And by the way, either with the one-to-one consultation or, as Buck has pointed out a couple of times, I want to make sure you hear this as well, you get access to the Q&A sessions. And then there's next week the Rapid Crush Q&A session focused on Amazon and bridging the gap with Amazon and what that means. Pros and cons and so forth of selling supplements on Amazon, off Amazon, what the relationship is and so forth. And I'll definitely be there with Buck. It's going to be a really, really good time. That's an additional bonus that you get, Rapid Crush only, that you get as well. I feel great about this material. I feel great about Buck. I'm in alignment. I can feel that so many people are in alignment as well. Buck, I appreciate the training. Fantastic training. So clear that you're the real deal. Glad to have met you, many, many months ago now. Just fantastic stuff. So folks, head over to rapidcrush.com/HPA, Health Profits Academy. rapidcrush.com/HPA. I'll drop it in one more time. So you've got that here. And there we go. Buck, if there was one thing, this is how we're going to close this down. If there was one thing that would summarize what we've talked about today, the one thing that would nudge someone, maybe that's even more important as part of this, right? What's the one thing you would say to nudge someone who's on the edge to take action right now? What's the biggest, the most fantastic, the most incredible reason why they really need to take action over at rapidcrush.com/HPA with the tuition assistance special, with all the bonuses, with the Amazon bonus? What's the number one reason to take action right now, Buck?
The number one reason is belief. Because when I got into this business, there were guides, as I mentioned, that I did tap into, but were not the one sort of the expert, the one expert on building a successful online health business. I had to sort of cobble together my dream team to make it happen. It cost me a lot more money, a lot more trial by error, and a lot more risk taking, and I'm eliminating that. You have someone that is a practitioner, that's doing it, practitioner in the sense that I'm an operator and I run this business successfully, and I'm helping thousands of people through my business, and my partners are as well. So you can believe that you can be successful. I give you permission to believe that you can be successful in this business because you have the right coach, you have the right tools, you have the right introductions, and you're going to have the right community to be a part of. And that's what this is all about with the membership area, the member forum, coming to the live event, being on the live Q&A calls. So believe in yourself. I give you permission to believe that you can be successful with this. And I'm excited and I'm humbled to be your guide, to be your coach in making this happen.
Yeah, Buck, what a great word, what a great idea, what a great concept. Belief, belief in everyone here. I have the same belief. It's a feeling. It's also empirically true in my mind. Even though it's one of these words, it's a little bit squishy. I firmly and empirically believe it because I've seen the results. I know the opportunity is there. I know that anyone can do this if they mean it. If they make the investment, they get the right coaching, the right assistance, and they are getting that. You are getting access right now to Health Profits Academy. You're getting all the bonuses. You're getting everything that Buck has gone through here. If you were, I mean, let's face it, if you're trying to set up a business like this on your own, it would be next to impossible, so painful, so horrible. Buck has crawled over that broken glass to get there. He's done it for you, and he's handing it to you on a silver platter. Now is the time. Make the investment. Last call here, rapidcrush.com/HPA. Head over right now. Folks, thank you again and congratulations. Buck, one last time, thank you very much. I appreciate you. I appreciate what you're doing so much. Everyone, you have a great evening, morning, afternoon, whatever time it is for you right now. You take care. The weekend, come and have a great weekend as well. Everyone, take care. We'll see you on the inside.
Thanks, everybody.